goal, and unlike yesterday, hopefully more than 7 free throws. And lastly, defend Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett still looking in for his first win as a New York Knick in this building.
That is wild. It is wild to think that that is the case. Raptors and Knicks getting set to go toe-to-toe. The Knicks at 25 and 22. The Raptors 20 and 27. Here's the starting five for Toronto.
We got it started in the middle. The Prince of the Rim, wearing number 5. Make some noise for Precious Achiuwa. The Rookie of the Year, wearing number 4. Time to make some noise for your boy, Scotty Barnes. We keep it spicy in the forward, representing Cameroon, number 43, Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. From Columbus, Ohio, rocking number 33, he's tapped in. Get your hands clapping for Gary Trent Jr. And your Raptors NBA All-Star, rocking you from Rockford, Illinois, Mr. Bet on Yourself. Let's hear it for Steady Freddie Van Vliet. Head coach of the Toronto Raptors is Nick Nurse.
Well, there you have it, starting five for the Toronto Raptors. We already got the starters for the Knicks. Starting lineups brought to you by Bet Rivers. It's a whole new game as the Knicks get set to take to the floor in the blue and orange and the Raptors in their white and red. Jonesy, back over to you.
Let's get this out of the way now, folks. I got to tell you, my broadcast partner is playing hurt right now.
Yep.
You wait all year to climb the mountain, as we know, and you get close to the top and somebody knocks you down. He's feeling it with his Buffalo Bills. Wearing the socks, too. Like, you know, he always talks about the Jones jinx, and he's superstitious. Maybe this will throw him off. He was wearing the same stuff that he was wearing when Stephon Diggs was here that day.
Purposely. Same shirt, same suit. It's been washed.
And Steph Diggs said to you, man, you family. And you were like, man, it was like you'd won the lottery. You were glowing.
I was.
You were glowing.
I was.
And I was like, man, if E. Smith, if the Bills get to the Super Bowl, I had a special treat planned for you.
Uh-oh.
I was going to order it like next week because it takes a week to get here. Remember, what's his name on Monday Night Football? Brian, the running back for Washington, with the big hat.
Robinson.
Brian Robinson. I had talked to the company. I was ordering Eric Smith a big hat with the Bills on it for Super Bowl.
You imagine me wearing that on courtside calling the game against the Pistons on Super Bowl Sunday? I'd get all these people behind me cheesed off.
I gotta wait now, though. I gotta wait. Maybe the start of next season, the optimism. I just took the order out of my basket right now. I'm feeling you, man. I'm feeling you.
Hey, I'll say this just to put a bow on it. I would have been dancing in the streets and talking it all afternoon throughout the Raptor game if the Bills won. So I'll put a bow on it like this. Cincinnati deserved the win. They absolutely dominated the Bills on both ends of the field. It's a complete domination. They earned that win. Knicks win the opening tip. They start with the ball. So the New York City team will try to do what the only team that plays in New York State couldn't do today. Get a win. Got a foul on R.J. Barrett. And yes, that's a dig at the Jets and Giants who play in Jersey.
Well, I remember when they moved across the river. I was in a store in New York, and somebody said something about the New York Giants, and the guy said, lady, the Giants doesn't play in New York no more. They play in Jersey. So there you go. Eric, we had a great chat with Steve Clifford a couple weeks ago when the Hornets were in, and he's on the same coaching tree as Tom Thibodeau, so we threw some of that at him. It was the most pleasant I've seen Tibbs in a long time. You were in there, right? Like he was laughing and joking and calling Steve Clifford names. I'm like, the guy smiles.
Must be the Canadian water or something. But he'll be gargling with broken glass before the end of the night and barking out from the sidelines, no doubt. Jumper from the far side, no good for Siakam on the Raptors' first offensive touch. Toronto gets the offensive rebound, though. Van Vliet back in the lineup. Steps steps into a triple and buries it from the far side. The Raptors take the 3-2 lead. Brunson to Grimes. Grimes gives it up to Sims, who hands it to Barrett. Swing it over on the wing far side. It's Randall. Puts it on the floor, then leans in on Scotty Barnes and steps into a triple and buries it from the far sideline. Remember, Randall was extremely hot early in the game last Monday in New York. He has played well this season, period, but certainly against Toronto. Trent near sideline, triple up and in as the Raptors, answer back.
Well, look, we talked about it, Eric. They have been in all these games. They might have lost some close games, but they're in them, and you can't win if you're not in, and off to a good start today.
Randall to Brunson straight away, comes around a screen, now out on the far side, picked up by Achua on the switch, gets into the paint, hands back to Randall. Randall at the far elbow, up fake, Barnes contested. They hand it off to Barrett, who drives into the lane and lays it up and in.
3 left-handed players on the court for New York, right? With Brunson, Randall, and Barrett.
Far corner, Van Vliet was cut off inside the arc, passes underneath the net to Achua, out on the wing. To Pascal Siakam, far side. Another triple for Toronto. Raptors leading now 9-7.
What a delivery by Achua, leaning out of bounds, about a 16, 20-foot skidding bounce pass to Siakam right in the shooting pocket.
Knicks look to answer back. Barrett 3, it's good. Man, oh man. Heat check time in Toronto.
Look, I mean, I've watched the kid since, he played against my kids at age when they were bitty ball. He's got a lot of dog in him. RJ Barrett is a real competitor.
Knicks 3 of 3 to start the game. Raptors 3 of 4. New York leading by 1. Driving Siakam, and they got a foul on the floor before he got into his foray to the tin. So it's a foul on New York. It'll go against Grimes. Sideline out of bounds for the Raptors. We're about 2.5 minutes, 2:37 to be exact, into the ball game as Siakam inbounds to Van Vliet. Freddie out at the logo near center, guarded by Grimes. Over on the far side now, Siakam. Pascal down on the block. He's going to go at Sims. Turns, fires. He left it short. He thought he was fouled, and I think he's right. Looked like he got hit on the forearm.
Tom Thibodeau talked about that after the news conference ended, just the way the game's officiated.
Spinning, firing, no good off the rim. Randall, he wanted to call it in to get it, and the Raptors grabbed the rebound. Van Vliet driving to the tin, scoop it up and in for Freddie V.
Great job by Fred to compromise Quentin Grimes and just get his left shoulder on him to lean in.
Toronto now up by 1. Little seesaw battle here in the opening 3-4 minutes. Driving to the tin, missing Brunson. Raptors grab the rebound. Van Vliet quickly head to Siakam. Bobbled it for a moment, got it back. Passes out, far sideline, sidestep, triple, up and clean. Gary Trent Jr.
Well, transition leading to a 3. Gary, sidestep, dribble, and calm as can be, knocking it down.
And the Knicks will take the timeout with 8:26 to go in the opening quarter. A hot start on both sides, but you got to love, Jonesy, the Raptors 4 of 4 from distance.
Well, doing a great job and getting great shots, Eric. We know how important it is for the Raptors to make 3 balls if they're going to be in and win games.
So again, 8:26 to go, opening quarter. Toronto leading 14-10 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
The bank shot. You know, when the ball bounces off the backboard and goes into the basket. Well, this year, Tangerine's turning Raptors bank shots into real bank. Introducing the Tangerine Bank Shot account. Every time the Raptors sink a bank shot, $1,000 gets deposited. Then, at the end of the season, it all goes to basketball community initiatives. Sign up at tangerine.ca/bankshot for your shot at winning prizes. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and their fans.
Will you marry me? I'm sorry. I love you. Happy birthday, babe.
Whoever you're trying to get, make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. From earrings, necklaces, to engagement rings. If they're good enough for the champions, they're good enough for your special someone. Look up Kalani Jewelry. KILANI.
Go get him.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient size and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
Let's get back to the action. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 8:26 to go. Opening quarter. First quarter action is brought to you by Bet Rivers. It's a whole new game, and the Raptors looking for a whole new result, trying to pick up a victory today after a couple of losses for the Raptors. They had a chance to take 2 of 3 on the road trip. They were unable to close out against the Timberwolves. Then they thought they were going to come home and get the win against the Celtics, but it unfortunately slipped away from Toronto in the fourth quarter last night. Well, they're trying to bounce back, Jonesy, tonight, and hoping to do so especially before hitting the road, because it's a 7-game road trip that will start for the Raptors starting this week on Wednesday.
Ed Cohen, our colleague from the radio side in New York, said, how many days? I said, I don't know, Ed.
I think it's 14.
I said 14 or 15. I said, I don't know, see you sometime in February. Pack lots of underwear.
If I'm not mistaken, the next Raptor home game is, am I wrong to say it's the 8th, I believe, of February?
Yeah.
Raptors come out of the timeout, get a stop as the Knicks come up empty. Down the floor, streaking behind the D was Trent, and he blows the layup. My goodness. He was wide open, and he just left it short on the right side of the rim. Knicks come back, triple, no good, far sideline for Barrett, so the Raptors escape unscathed, and they push again.
You know, Gary missed a key layup yesterday that would have tied the game, too. Nick Nurse always says, practice your layups.
And Achua just got called for the offensive foul as he drove to the tin. He lowered his shoulder, went right into Brunson, who took it in the chest, and wipe out the bucket for the Raptors. We go back the other way. Toronto still leading 14-10.
Who also looked like he was moving, Brunson.
He was. He didn't just look like it. He was.
And Precious with that long, slow walk as they sub him out to the bench that says it all.
Achua sitting down with those 2 fouls in 4 minutes. 3 rebounds. As Thaddeus Young has come into the game. Raptors just force another turnover. Siakam jumps into a pass lane and takes it away from Randall. Siakam to Barnes on the baseline near side. Back to Pascal just above the free throw line. Puts it on the floor. Gets down near the left block. Up and in on the jumper from 12 feet. Raptors up 16-10. 7:10 to go opening quarter. Barrett gets to the free throw line. Lobs it up at the rim and dunking it down on an alley-oop, but they're going to call a foul before the dunk, away from the ball, and wipe out the basket. Wow, the Raptors catch a break here. Tibbs not happy about that one, and understandably so.
Well, Van Vliet with a little touch on Sims, who went airborne, and you're right, Eric, that is a break for Toronto.
So Toronto's still up by 6. Sims hands off to Brunson near side, crosses over on Young, gets into the lane, takes a bump, finishes with the bucket. So there's the end one opportunity. They just kind of had to wait about 7 more seconds to get it.
Jalen Brunson has done a terrific job. They little guard around there off the high post, and he's a guy that gets to the basket. When people talk about all-star stuff, he's a guy that could definitely be voted an all-star.
7:05 to go now, opening quarter, as Brunson heads to the free throw line. He's on the board with his first bucket. Raptors still leading those 16-12 as Brunson dips, fires on the free throw, and it's good. Raptor lead is 3. 7 points for Barrett to lead all scorers on the Raptor side of things, 6 for Gary Trent. Toronto shooting 66% as they advance. Young, far sideline now, it's Barnes. Barnes on the bounce straight away, goes cross-court into the near corner to Trent. Up fake on Brunson, came to the baseline, and as he elevated to the rim, he passed off as a foul came in. Man, toss that up at the rim, Jonesy.
Yeah, always. You hear it, get it up there, and always shooting.
So Barnes will inbound near sideline. Scotty Barnes trying to direct traffic, gets it in to Siakam, who now hands to Van Vliet. Freddie out on that wing far side, dips behind the Siakam screen, gives it back to Pascal right below the free throw line, out on the perimeter to Trent. Another triple is good for Gary Trent. 3 of 3 from distance.
Don't take layups, just take threes, right? But Gary shooting the ball really well. He's found himself again, Eric, going back into the starting lineup.
So he misses from a foot, but he's made 3 of 3 from 23 feet. Go figure. Raptors up 19-13, matching their largest lead at 6 in the near corner. Randall double team, goes cross court all the way onto the other side of the floor to Grimes, who drives into the paint, runs into Trent, and they call a block, and a very late whistle too.
Wow.
Like very late. The rebound had already come out when the whistle came in.
That wasn't a charge. It wasn't any more of a move than Brunson on Achua.
Well, Nick Nurse not opting to challenge. He's seated on the bench right now. In fact, he didn't even kind of pop off and come yelling.
Maybe he's saving bullets after yesterday. Man, what a debacle that was yesterday. And I read your exchange on Twitter with Michael Grange after the report from the pool reporter talking to the official. Didn't like the way that went down.
Agreed. We'll leave it at that.
Yep.
Siakam, wing far side. 3-ball, short. Rebound to Grimes. Knicks push ahead, trailing by 4. On the far sideline is Randall. Randall trying to get away from Barnes. Still on the bounce as he brings it down toward the baseline. Now passes off out on the wing far side. Brunson with the extra pass over to Grimes in the corner. Missed the shot. Randall in traffic. Grabbed the rebound. Goes back up and puts it in the tin. Offensive rebounding huge there for the Knicks.
Well, again, and Julius Randle left-handed, right? So he takes it and comes to the other side of the basket. You forget sometimes he's left-handed.
And Thad Young just rifled a pass into the paint, straight into the midst of the Knicks. Toronto turns it over for the second time, but stepping out of bounds on the far sideline was Grimes after the Knicks had worked the ball ahead. Grimes caught it on the far side and was looking to drive into the lane, but that back foot stepped onto the sideline. So turn it over. That's 3 turnovers now for the Knicks, 2 for the Raptors, and we'll see if Toronto can take advantage. 19-17 with 5:17 to go here, opening quarter. Siakam above the arc, pretty much straight away. Van Vliet comes back up to get the ball from Pascal. Siakam now sets a screen. Freddie goes around it on the near side. Trying to shake and bake on Grimes, gets into the paint, a lot of contact, passes off far corner. Thad Young, late in the shot clock, drives to the baseline. Running floater goes, the one-hander for Thad.
Thad, great job maneuvering on the baseline, showing some nifty ball handling as well.
21-17, Raptors leading by 4. Barrett spinning away from Young in the lane, lost the handle though, picked up by Siakam. Down the floor, 3-on-2, Raptors. Boucher catches midair from Trent and lays it up and in.
Great play by Chris. Didn't try to do too much with it, catch it, lay it in. And Gary Trent got a hand on that ball to steal it from Barrett.
4:35 to go now. Opening quarter, Raptors push the lead back up to 6, matching their largest lead. Brunson through the lane, into the near corner. Grimes inside the arc. Now he puts it on the floor along the baseline, trying to go at Thad Young. Cut off. Goes back on the perimeter to Barrett. 3-ball. Siakam jumped out, got a piece, then leaked behind the D. Thad Young throws it ahead. Pascal dunks it down. Raptors lead by 8. What a play by Pascal.
Well, great challenge, right? Nick Nurse always talks about that. They chart that. Contested shots, get a hand up. And it was perfect because he was airborne after the shooter was airborne and still got a piece of it.
25-17, Raptors leading by 8. 4:05 to go in the opening quarter on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I'm looking to upgrade my kitchen.
Bathroom, Mom. We need an extra bathroom.
Emily, hang up.
Ugh, this is so unfair.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I need a loan for some home renos.
Well, do you own your home?
Of course, I'm the owner.
Then you're approved. Enjoy your new kitchen.
Bathroom!
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
Visual license 12616. Ugh.
Make your next career move with 2 Men in a Truck. The company is hiring motivated and enthusiastic team members for mover, driver, and customer service positions. And if you're looking for more, professional advancement is always a possibility. In fact, 75% of 2 Men in a Truck managers started in frontline positions. Now is the time to apply. Visit 2meninatruck.ca and click careers.
2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care. Back to the action. Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 4:05 to go, opening quarter. First quarter action brought to you by Bet Rivers. It's a whole new game as Toronto leads 25-17, and the Raptors blistering right now. They are 5 of 6 from distance, 10 of 14 overall from the floor, shooting 71%. And again, an 8-point lead, their largest of the game.
Doing a nice job. And New York is a team that over the last little while has won first quarters by an average of 2 to 3 points. Well, so far tonight, all good for Toronto.
Knicks get set to inbound the ball. On the far sideline, it'll be R.J. Barrett to do the honors. Hartenstein comes into the ball game for the Knicks as Brunson misses a jumper near side, about a 13-footer, no good. And back the other way come the Raptors with the rebound and a chance to go up double figures. Driving on the near side, cut off by Randall. It's Siakam who keeps the dribble alive. Pascal trying to back down on Randall now. Spins to the baseline, turns, fires, jumper, no good. In traffic, the Raptors tip it. Thad Young got a hand on it, and Boucher keeps it alive. Second chance time for Toronto. Pascal back out towards center court to Van Vliet. Freddie, 5 on the shot clock. Stop and go into lane, got by Grimes. Left hand finish. Man, he just froze Grimes.
Great move on the hesitation, the stutter dribble. And all of a sudden now, the Raptors have pushed the lead to 10.
And they're shooting 69% still. Randall trying to get 3 back. Wing near side, missed it. Siakam with the rebound.
Not a lot of three-point shooting on the floor for New York. Raptors go zone.
Pull up triple. Freddie no good. Randall the rebound. Randall down Main Street, still on the dribble, goes right at the rim, misses the dunk, but he's fouled and he will go to the line. He was just kind of riding the hip of Hernan Gomez and went straight on a rim run.
He was pushing him off. It was a dribble and the left arm out. And then at the other end, he got away with a push.
Yeah, you're right, Jonesy.
The other end, he got away with a push on Boucher.
Scotty Barnes coming back to the scores table. He'll get set to check in at the next whistle. Evan Fournier is going to come in for the Knicks.
Fournier had been out of the rotation. And all of a sudden.
Well, in a game like this, maybe Tibbs is saying, hey, we need some shooting on the floor.
And he talked about that, right? When we talked to him in the news conference, the way the game is going, and you just kind of find out where you fit in and what you need, and you play that way that night if you have to.
Randall missed the first free throw. Siakam's going to get the rest briefly as he checks out with 3:05 to go in the first. Barnes coming back in. Randall hits the second free throw, so 1 of 2 at the stripe for Randall. Raptors, kind of like yesterday, have yet to be to the free throw line, but that said, they're shooting 65% from the floor. They haven't needed to go to the line because they're hitting almost everything, 2/3 of their shots. Young, near side, back on the wing, near side. Van Vliet put it on the floor, got into the paint, passes off, far sideline. Scotty Barnes, triple is clean. Scotty Barnes and the Raptors continue to blister from distance, 6 of 8.
I love the zone right now. It's working well for them. Like I said, not a lot of three-point shooting on the floor.
Randall drives into the paint. Wow, that time he finished on the big-time dunk. He caught a foot midair and fell to the floor pretty hard on the baseline, but he finished on a monster cram to go onto the board with another bucket, Jonesy. And the lead still 10, though, for Toronto. Straight away with the jumper, answering right back. Fred Van Vliet from 16 feet.
Grimes really upset. New York ending up playing that drop defense. So Fred turns the corner. There's nobody up there, and he's got a great look.
Randall, double teamed. Now singled as Boucher stayed up on him. They swing it around. The Knicks do. Brunson over to Grimes, far side. Air ball to Triple. Knicks get the ball, though, late in the shot clock as it didn't hit the rim. Brunson gets into the paint, lost the handle, scrambles to get it back, squeezes off the shot before the shot clock expired, and it hit nothing as well. So that's a shot clock violation.
Good scrambling by the Raptors. I mean, you think about the zone. Look at the length out there. Other than Van Vliet, you got Scotty, Juancho, Thad, and Chris Boucher. They cover a lot of ground.
1:50 to go now, opening quarter. Raptors leading by 12, matching their largest lead of the game. Looking for more right now. Scotty Barnes, near side inside the arc, back up top. Van Vliet now goes around a Young screen out toward the far elbow, spinning into the lane. Van Vliet turns, fires, bucket short as it hit the front of the rim. Brunson has it. Ahead to Randall. Randall had the ball knocked away by Van Vliet, then saves it on the sideline far side and throws it right to Thad Young. So the Raptors trying to convert off the turnover. Van Vliet sneaks by Brunson, but then fouled from behind. Nope, they're going to actually call it on Brunson. I thought the foul was going to go on Hartenstein, but they're going to say it's on Brunson.
Yeah, it was on Brunson. He was blocking, moving as Fred beat him. Fred did a nice job changing directions and then getting the contact. But at the other end, again, the quick hands of Fred Van Vliet, knocking the ball away. Didn't even steal it, just knocked it away from Randall. Now it's heading to the sideline. His instinct is to go get it. Randall saves it. He's falling out of bounds. He throws it back in, bang, right to Fred. That's the importance of deflections and just knocking the ball away from a defender or off its path, because now it becomes anybody's ball when it's loose.
Van Vliet steps to the stripe, knocks down the first one. Second one is up and in as well. 34-20, Raptors by 14, their largest lead. 1:20 to play here, opening quarter. Brunson sits down with 2 fouls as Miles McBride has come into the game for the Knicks. He's got it right now, dipping behind a Hartenstein screen, gets it out on the far elbow. Then he passes far sideline to Fournier. Fournier stuck in the corner, gets it to Hartenstein, into the lane. Went left, spins back right, bobbled the ball, gets it back, throws up a left-hand hook from about 13 feet and missed.
So there's some three-point shooting in there with Fournier and McBride, but the Raptors swarming still defensively.
Van Vliet in the paint to Juancho, back to Freddie, far sideline, gives it up to Scotty for 3, missed it, tapped down low in traffic by Thad Young, and the Knicks come away with the ball. Randall, wow, he just threw an elbow into the face of Boucher, and it's an offensive foul as Boucher got right up and pestered Randall, and he bit hard on that.
How about the hustle from Chris Boucher? He almost had the rebound. Randall comes out of the fray with the rebound, and Boucher chases him. Like, doesn't go back to defend the basket. He chases Randall to the mid-court line at the sideline where Fred had already engaged him, and all of a sudden you've got a double with a really long guy on the ball, and that's where the offensive foul occurred. And now it looks like Tibbs wants to review it.
No, I think actually, Jonesy, I believe, I might be mistaken.
Check for hostile act?
Yep, the officials actually called for that. They're going to check for the hostile act.
Ruling on the floor of an offensive foul. We reviewed to see if it meets the criteria for a flagrant foul.
And going into that, or this, official's timeout, Julius Randle had a ton to say to referee Jenna Schroeder. And then he continued to bark at official Mark Lindsay. So the leash was real long for Randle. I don't think it's going to be called a hostile act, Jonesy, because on the replay that we see, Randle actually caught Boucher more with the shoulder in the chest. So there was contact to make it the offensive foul, but the arm, the shoulder, the elbow did not actually catch Boucher in the chin or in the mouth or anything. So I think it's just going to be an offensive foul, and that's that. We'll see. We'll get it right now.
Upon review, the ruling on the floor stands. Offensive foul. Play will be resumed. Raptors throw in on the sideline with 24 in the shot clock.
There you have it. Just a
again
regular foul.
Walking, having dinner in the media room with Hall of Famer and New York Knicks champion Clyde Frazier, and talking with Walt, and he said they'd be reviewing every call in the 70s and 80s. I mean, that was an offensive foul. It was aggressive, but he was also trying to protect the ball. I didn't think there was any malicious intent there that warranted it being called a flagrant. And I think some of the ones that they should be looking at in this day and age, they don't.
Van Vliet, triple, wing far side, rip it. 37-20 as Van Vliet drops it down, and the Raptors are torching New York right now.
Well, Big lead. They had one of those before. They just don't hold up all the time.
McBride trying to answer back and can't. Too strong off the back of the rim, but it's chased down by Randall. Second chance time for the Knicks. They've got to give it up before the end of the quarter with about a 3.5 second differential. Fournier just aired one, but it's picked up by New York again. Randall in the lane, in traffic. They put it up, missed, but got his own tip, and it goes back into the 10 with 4.2 seconds remaining. There's time for Toronto. Down the far side, Siakam steps into a 3-ball, back rim no good, and that'll end the quarter. Raptors with a 15-point lead.
Good job by Toronto. I mean, the fact that the Knicks are only shooting 33%, 7 of 21. And Toronto, we talk about often the discrepancy in the 3-ball. It's Toronto with a 7-2 advantage in 3-point makes right now.
37-22, Raptors leading by 15 as we get set for the second quarter on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
When the game starts, the betting doesn't stop at BetRivers Online Sportsbook and Casino. BetRivers is live streaming a massive number of matches every day from around the world. Every day, you can watch and wager on live sports right on your phone. Download the BetRivers Online Sportsbook and Casino app and start betting today. BetRivers.ca. It's a whole new game.
19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge.
Hi, I'm Hugh Heron from Heathwood Homes. I want to talk to you about our great country, Canada. It's a land of opportunity and a place I call home. For 50 years, Heathwood has been committed to building each home with the very best new technologies, ensuring that your home will be more energy efficient and sustainable than ever. Visit our communities at heathwood.com. At Heathwood, you will be home at last.
Please be advised, if you find winter driving distressing, the following is a real audio clip of a Subaru driving on an unplowed mountain pass in the Yukon in minus 23-degree conditions. Just listen to Subaru's standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive go to work on all that ice and snow. And that sound is our confident driver whistling Beethoven's Fifth, I believe. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon winter capability.
Back at it. Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The
Fan. Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to start the second quarter. Raptors leading 37-22, and Toronto shooting 61% in that opening frame. 14 points for Fred VanVleet, 9 for Gary Trent, 7 for Pascal Siakam. Toronto, 7 of 11 from distance. Outstanding opening 12 minutes, Jonesy, for the Raps.
It really was. And again, this is a New York team that is used to putting up a positive first quarter. Well, the Raptors put the brakes on that for sure.
Raptors start with the ball to begin the second quarter. Doughton Jr. onto the floor for Toronto.
As is Wieskamp.
Yeah, Weezy. He saw some action and played very well, at least on the offensive end in Minnesota, and then was a DNP yesterday against the Knicks. Doughton got into the lane, lost the handle. Knicks had it, but the Raptors take it right back.
Boucher again, doing the hustle work, doing the dirty work.
And they actually had reset the shot clock. They said that the Knicks had established possession. Knicks just took it away again. This time it was Siakam who got into the lane. Wieskamp gets back and cuts off the Knicks as Obi Toppin was there. Knicks work it around, and now McBride looking for Toppin on the baseline, but Toppin can't save it. That possession bordering on disaster for the Knicks, and the disaster came.
Yeah, it was. It materialized. They were looking for the lob to Obi Toppin, a guy who's known to get up above the rim, but he wasn't reading the same page.
So a sloppy start for both teams in the opening 45, 50 seconds. Let's see if the Raptors can settle down here on their second touch. Toronto with 3 turnovers in the ballgame. The Knicks already with 8 into the lane. Off glass and in Achua. He picked up 2 early fouls, checked out, and here he is to start the second with his first bucket of the game. Precious played well in the loss to the Celtics last night. Second straight start for Achua.
He was great. He was real energy.
McBride whips the pass into the paint to R.J. Barrett, who turns and fires with a soft one-hander. gets it to go from 10 feet. Raptors still leading by 15. Siakam on the logo at center court, stops his dribble, gives it up, wing far side to Precious, back to Pascal. Siakam over on the far side now, inside the arc, elevates for the jumper, no good, high for the rebound. Obi Toppin has it, and he will streak across center, running the near lane. Gives it up to Fournier. They left him wide open. Evan Fournier for three, and the Raptors dodge a bullet, and that's going to go off Achua as he was battling with Hartenstein. It'll be New York ball, 14 on the shot clock. Nick Nurse popping off the bench, screaming at Jeff Doughton. And he's not happy with his team right now. Defensive breakdown. It didn't seem to know what they were doing. And the Knicks just got an easy layup off the inbound, plus a foul and a three-point opportunity.
He was initially upset with no box out. And that's the kind of stuff that, like, when you're losing, it's the little things. You got to do the little things and have them add up. So now you lose a possession, you turn it into a three-point play. Those are the things that they come back to break you.
And Nurse, though, Jonesy as well, when he popped up, he was screaming, come on, Jeff, let's go. And that's tough when you're trying to get some burn and earn the coach's trust. And Doughton has it right now over on the far side. Looking to go at Obi Toppin, steps into a jumper just above that far elbow, missed it, but a huge rebound high for it was Achua. As he elevated, he lost the handle, turned it over. Obi Toppin down the floor, misses the floater, the runner no good. Raptors grab the rebound.
Good job by Siakam to force the tough running shot from Toppin.
Siakam into the lane, sneaks through two defenders, misses the layup. Boucher fights to get it back, blocked by Hartenstein. They're going to call a jump ball.
Yeah, Chris went up, and I don't think he knew where he was, and he had to move the ball into an area where another player was waiting.
39-26, 9:33 to go now. Second quarter. Boucher will jump it up against Hartenstein. Raptors with their lead at 13. 13 on the shot clock as well. Boucher wins the tip, tracked down on the wing far side, but by Doughton. It's now Siakam. Throws the head and shoulders back. Didn't get the call. Goes back up top. Boucher for three. Got a good look and ripped the cords right in the grill of Hartenstein.
Well, great job by Chris. Picking spot up and really well prepared for that shot.
Raptors by 16, one shy of their largest lead at 17. 42-26. McBride puts it into the paint. They kick it out now on the wing far side. Fournier for three. No good. Hartenstein came over the back of Boucher, battling for the rebound. Loose ball picked up by New York. McBride, Barrett, Toppin, far corner, triple is good.
Offensive rebound, right? Tough to scramble and find a man on the matchup.
8-4 in favor of the Knicks, Jonesy, on the offensive glass. Wieskamp, far corner, gives it up now to Siakam on the wing far side. Pascal in the paint to Achua. Over to Doughton in the near corner to Wieskamp. Misses the triple. Had a decent look in front of his own bench. Raptors by 13 as they get back on D. Here comes RJ Barrett into the paint. Bumped on the drive. Misses the runner, but he's going to go to the stripe for two.
Well, they got it on Siakam on the drive. RJ, again, he puts that ball down and he gets to that left hand.
Jonesy, Siakam saying right now, you didn't blow the whistle for me on my drive on the other end when I was trying to get by Fournier and I kind of threw the head and shoulders back. He bumped me, but you call this one and give it to Barrett. RJ misses the first free throw. So Barrett in the ball game has a team high 11, but just 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Again, the Buffalo Bills losing today 27-10 to the Cincinnati Bengals.
See, I'm trying to avoid that.
I know, I got to do my job. I'm still
trying to avoid that.
Still a broadcaster at the end of the day. I got to take my fan hat off, and I was bringing that up to say that we will keep you updated on the second game of the day, the final playoff game of the NFL weekend, as Dallas and San Francisco are underway. Pascal Siakam, jumper far side, inside the arc. That one good to go for Siakam, and the Raptors push their lead to 14.
Not a football question when we get a break.
All right. Triple near corner, good for Toppin in front of his own bench, so he's hit one from each corner.
Here's a guy that New York fans are saying, why isn't he playing more? You know, the old backup quarterback is the guy everybody wants to see, although Obi Toppin's given him some good minutes.
Well, the Knicks were down by 17. They've cut it to 11 now. Raptors still by double figures, though. We're About 4.5 minutes into the second quarter. Barrett picks up the foul. As now Boucher is going to check out on the floor for the Raptors. And actually, we'll clean up both sides as we've got a couple of changes coming for each side. Apparently, I'm blind right now because I'm only seeing 4 white jerseys. There's the 5th one over on the far sideline.
Behind Achua.
Yeah,
Achua's
like the solar eclipse over there.
Yeah, doing like Shaq, just blocking the sun.
Achua, Barnes, Siakam, Wieskamp, and Doughton for the Raptors. Wieskamp has it right now. Puts it on the floor, drives in, kicks out. Good look for Barnes, and he aired it. Picked up by Sims on the baseline, and he gives it to Brunson, who's out there with Fournier, Barrett, and Toppin. Knicks down 11, driving on the near side. Brunson into the paint, kicks out on the perimeter to Fournier, gets it down to the near elbow. Sidestep jumper, no good. Wieskamp with the contest. The Raptors have the rebound running the far lane. It's Achua. Precious driving to the 10, right at the rim, scoops it up, missed it, but he's fouled, and he's going to go to the stripe for 2.
Man, what athleticism by Achua. I mean, he took off, and it looked like that had charge written all over it. Somehow, almost mid-air, he's able to maneuver his body and get further right, avoiding the defense and lay it up and turn it from what looked like a potential charge into a block and get 2 free throws out of it.
Tell you what, I'm pretty impressed with his ball handling there, Jonesy. Done that a couple of times these last 2 games. Misses the first free throw, though. Precious Achua. We're getting that much closer to, and listen, not that I'm right, just my opinion. I think the best starting 5 for the Raptors in terms of how they complement one another and whatnot. Van Vliet, Barnes, Anunoby, Siakam, and Achua, with Trent coming off the bench as your 6th man. Haven't seen it once yet this year.
Yeah.
We were this close today, potentially, but OG Anunoby missing the ball game after getting banged up yesterday against the Celtics. Brunson, 3-ball, no good. He thought he was hit. He fell to the floor. They don't call it. Toppin comes back to steal the ball away from the Raptors as they were looking to go for the long touchdown pass to Pascal Siakam. Down the floor comes Fournier into the near corner. Toppin, 3-ball is good. And Obi Toppin is putting his team on his back right now. The Knicks have cut the Raptor lead in half. It's down to 8.
Well, their bench is giving them a real lift right now. 11-7, New York outscoring Toronto's bench. Now, mind you, a guy like Achua is in the starting lineup, so he's not coming off the bench to give you that help. But the numbers don't lie. New York crawling back into it. Their bench has had an impact.
44-36, 6:30 to go in the opening half. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
The bank shot. You know, when the ball bounces off the backboard and goes into the basket. Well, this year, Tangerine's turning Raptors bank shots into real bank. Introducing the Tangerine Bank Shot account. Every time the Raptors sink a bank shot, $1,000 gets deposited. Then, at the end of the season, it all goes to basketball community initiatives. Sign up at tangerine.ca/bankshot for your shot at winning prizes. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and their fans.
Hey, Raptor fans, what's better than the team winning on the court? A win for the kids and a win for you. When you play the MLSE Foundation 50-50 jackpot, you help communities get kids and youth off the sidelines and onto the court. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. Will you be a winner this season? Only one way to know. Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
This is you on a normal vacation.
This is nice. Maybe I'll read a magazine.
This is you getting more on a Sunwing Grenada vacation.
This is nice. I'm hiking up a mountain in Grenada. Woo! I can't wait to get back to the resort to have dinner and get a massage because I'm definitely going to feel this tomorrow. Oh, well, this is so worth it.
Pure Grenada, the spice of the Caribbean. With hundreds of top-rated resorts and excursions, you get more under our wing. Book with your travel agent or...
Back at it. Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 6:30 to go here in the first half. The Raptors leading the Knicks 44-36, but Toronto had the lead as high as 17. New York has cut it to 8 as we look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Bet Rivers. It's a whole new game. Earlier today, the Clippers beating the Mavericks by 14, 112-98. Miami knocks off the Pelicans, Heat winning 196. And we'll get you an update on the National Football League in a second. Bills losing earlier today, 27-10 to the Cincinnati Bengals. And it is scoreless right now in the first quarter, early first quarter, between the Niners and the Cowboys. Siakam inbounding to Barnes out of the timeout. Barnes over to Van Vliet, chases it down far sideline, now brings it back to the near side, straight away toward the logo. Van Vliet back over to Scotty. Far side, Barnes covered by Barrett, trying to back his way towards the block on the left side. Barnes turning, firing. It hits the rim, no good, but a foul comes in on Barrett, and Scotty Barnes going to go to the free throw line. That's going to be foul number 2 on R.J. Barrett. Barnes knocks down the first one, pushes the lead back to 9.
Tibbs just gave, I would say, more than a piece of his mind to Jenna Schroeder. And she stood there and listened and walked away.
Well, didn't I tell you? I mean, I wasn't exactly going out on a limb that he was going to be gargling with broken glass before the end of the night. It took until about mid-second quarter.
And he just got real religious a minute ago.
Okay, I didn't hear it.
I was lip reading.
Toppin another triple, this time straight away. Obi Toppin is blistering.
All right, we talked about Peyton Pritchard yesterday, knowing your personnel.
Yep.
How many more do you need to see? I can make those.
Trent, what a jam in traffic. He turned the corner, went down Main Street, and put the apple on the New York Knicks.
Well, that's one way not to miss layups. Right?
48-39. Raptors by 9. Watch for the hot hand of Toppin. Brunson has it right now. He's got it to Toppin. Near side. Puts it on the floor. Drives to the baseline. Finds Sims in traffic, who goes up and floats it in softly from 3 feet.
Well, good move by Toppin. Knew that he'd get attention. Drove the closeout. Got to contain if you're the Raptors.
Van Vliet straight away. Raptor lead has been cut to 7. Freddie on the near side. Dribbling down toward the right block. Kicks back on the perimeter now to Achua. Shot clock at 7. Freddie comes back to get the ball. Now turns the corner down Main Street. Runs into Fournier. Play on. Gives it up far side to Siakam. Inside there. It goes back to Freddie. Straight away. Triple. And it's no good. Freddie thought that Pascal was going to shoot it, and he did not leave Van Vliet with a lot of time when Pascal gave the ball back to him.
No, and Fred wasn't upset because that was a good shot. There just wasn't enough time. And Raptors kind of playing with this lead. Eric was up to 17. It's now down to 7. You know, again, Thibodeau talked about it, that, and we've said it too, 15, 20-point leads are nothing these days.
Toppin, look out. And that one no good. His first miss of the game, and he had a good look there from just about straight away, fading a little bit toward the near side. Toppin off the bench with 12 points, 4 of 5 from distance. Baseline, far side, Scotty Barnes passes to a cutting Achua, who elevated, fouled, and Precious will head to the free throw line.
Love that. Scotty looking for somebody after getting the ball in the post, and the Raptors, again, excellent at that. A guy driving or occupied close to the basket still have a cutter.
4:39 to go until halftime. We're going to hear from Rowan Barrett, the general manager of the Canadian men's national team, at halftime. As Achua goes to the free throw line, knocks down the first one. Precious 0 of 2 earlier in the game at the stripe, but he gets that one to go. 3 points, 6 rebounds. That's a team high 6. On the other side, Julius Randle has 7 to lead all rebounders, and the Knicks have out-rebounded the Raptors 20-16 overall. And on the glass, offensive glass, 8-4. That has been a weapon for New York in this game, in spite of the fact that they have trailed for most of the evening thus far. It was sort of nip and tuck back and forth the opening 5-6 minutes of the ballgame before the Raptors eventually pulled ahead and went up by as many as 17. They were up by 15 at the end of the quarter, but their lead is now 9. Can they get it back up before the end of the frame? Well, maybe, because the Knicks just turned it over for a 10th time, and the Raptors, with 13 points off turnovers, will look for a couple more right here. That was Brunson who turned it over as he was looking down low on the baseline for his big man. Randall, but couldn't find him. Van Vliet elevated for a triple. Officials don't buy it as they don't blow the whistle on Grimes. Fred gets the ball back, though. Shot clock down to 7 as Freddie comes along the baseline, throws it into traffic, picked up by Thad Young, who turns and fires and floats it in.
The look on Fred's face without saying says that was the call that cost us the game in Minnesota. Right, a rip through.
Yep, that's a good point.
And D'Angelo Russell got that call in 2 free throws.
Barrett in the paint, fires into the near corner to Brunson, and Brunson nails the triple. Big shot there for the Knicks.
There goes the inconsistency of the way the game's called.
Young trying to answer back, hit the side of the rim. We nearly had a wedgie, but it came out and it's picked up by the Knicks. Running the far lane toward the far sideline now. It's RJ Barrett spinning away from Barnes into the lane, kicks to Grimes in the near corner. He misses the triple, but right into the midst of Barrett. Back up top to Brunson, over to Randall, wing far side. Randall gets into the paint, going at the rim, passes off to Barrett in the near corner, and he aired it. Tracked down, though, by Sims. Shot clock down to 2. Randall, 3 ball, good if it goes, and it does. And the Knicks have chopped this thing down to 5.
Offensive rebounding by New York, really an issue for Toronto.
It's a 6-0 New York run to cut the 11-point lead down to 5. Van Vliet trying to answer back, can't. Put back jam by Scotty Barnes on the offensive glass.
Great job by Scotty pursuing the ball. See if the Raptors can pick up the defense.
New York sitting at 41%, the Raptors at 51. Toronto leading by 7. Far corner inside the arc. Brunson goes back up top to Grimes. Over to Barrett. Barrett driving into the paint. The running floater goes as Barrett fell to the floor. No call. Play on. Knicks again down 5.
He worked really hard this summer, RJ, at his float game. 1 foot, 2 foot, wrong hand, all that kind of stuff.
Trent probes into the paint, then steps back and buries the jumper near side. Gary Trent having himself a day again. He's got 13. Knocked it down from 14 feet. 2:22 to go here. First half. Brunson turned the corner toward the far elbow. Broken up by Thad Young. Tracked down by Brunson. Brunson grabs the ball and then reaches up and fouls Fred Van Vliet. And is that going to be a transition take?
It should.
It should be. It should be.
It should.
Raptors had the ball, and it was going to be Gary Trent throwing it ahead, and Toronto was going to have an open layup
It's going to be a 3-on-1.
Yeah.
3-on-1.
That should absolutely be a transition take. There was no attempt to make a play on the ball. That was simply to break up, do transition, the fast break. Let's take the break. We'll come back with more on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
A big win and a bigger impact. When you play the MLSE Foundation 50-50 jackpot, you support the kids and the future Raptors of tomorrow. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. Will this season include you? The only way to find out is if you play. Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Welcome to Toronto. Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
Whatever you're trying to get, whoever you're trying to get, make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. From custom pendants to diamond rings, our jewelry covers all occasions. We make them for champions all around the world. Let's make one for you.
Make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. Look up Kalani Jewelry, K-I-L-A-N-I.
If you can dream it, we can make it.
From the classroom to the boardroom, save over 45% on the Acer Aspire 3 notebook bundle. Today's showstopper at TSC. This everyday laptop with an Intel processor is perfect for all your apps. Shop the Acer Aspire 3 notebook bundle with a bonus sleeve. Regularly $1134.97. Today it's $599.99 with interest-free Easy Pay. Shop our best offer of the day now at tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Back to the action. Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 2:17 to go here in the first half. Let's get the official word.
The ruling on the floor has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 1 for. Play will resume with Fred Van Vliet shooting 2 free throws for the flagrant. It'll be Toronto's ball on the sideline with 24 on the shot clock. Free throw line extended.
So they went
not a transition take, but a flagrant.
They went one up. They jumped the step.
Wow.
So now it's 2 in the ball because they ruled it was, well, unnecessary. Right?
Well, take it and run as
opposed to a flagrant 2, which is unnecessary and excessive. They just said, no, you can't do that.
Bubble above Tom Thibodeau's head right now.
Right.
I don't think there's a bubble. It's been burst from the body language. The heat coming off his head. Man, oh man. Van Vliet at the line. Takes care of business on both free throws. And now, as Jonesy noted, the Raptors get the ball on top of all that. Plus, Brunson picked up his 3rd foul, only 6 points in the first half, so that's big to get him out of the ball game for the final 2:15. Raptors now have a chance to get the lead back into double figures. On the baseline, Van Vliet was bumped. They don't call it. He tried to whip a pass over to the far corner to Gary Trent, but take your pick. Whether it was Van Vliet touching the baseline or the ball on the pass touching the baseline, it's a turnover for the Raptors. So they fail to capitalize on their chance to maybe go up double figures. And the Knicks just turn back over. Van Vliet, far sideline, triple up, no good. And a rebound, R.J. Barrett.
It's the new game, right? You could have had a layup. Instead, you settled for a 3. Good shot, but the old 3 better than 2, but 2 better than nothing.
McBride up top to Randall. Randall trying to get by Siakam. Got in the lane. He bobbled it. Gets it back, though, right under the 10. Up fake, and then hacked by Siakam. And then Randall's going to go to the free throw line.
Scotty took it in the gut from Randall, who he is the NBA definition of a bull in a china shop. He goes after the ball. He runs people over. It doesn't matter if he breaks a few dishes on the way in. To him, sometimes passing is a last resort. I'll pass it because I have to. He just...
Man, when he lost that handle and trying to track down that loose ball, he kind of came in knees first and caught Scotty right in the gut. Looked like Scotty was willing to stay in and maybe battle through. I think he will because Thad Young's checking in, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come in for Pascal Siakam and not for Scotty Barnes because that foul on Siakam will be his 3rd. So you want to get Pascal off the floor.
Actually, they called Thad back, so maybe he was for Scotty.
Interesting. I don't know. Did the coaches realize that that's 3 on Pascal?
Well, they may.
They should.
And leave him in. They should. But maybe they're leaving him in for offense on this trip up the court. And with the lead down to 8, leave an offensive player out there and just, we know you have 3, but we're trusting you to make the right decisions.
Sims battled to grab that rebound for the Knicks off the Randall miss on the second free throw, but then saving it, or trying to save it on the baseline. It was picked off by the Raptors. So Toronto leads by 8 as they come back on offense. Siakam straight away just above the free throw line. Staring down Sims right now. Now bring him to the right, spinning back left, going left. He's going to spin right again, folks. Turns, fires. Bucket is good for Siakam.
That's why you left him in.
Yep.
Leave your offensive guy in.
And trust him to not pick up a 4th foul right here. Raptors by 10. Barrett, under a minute to go, first half. Chased by Van Vliet, picked up by Barnes. Sees a seam, goes at the 10, throws it up, fouled. I didn't see a ton of contact there.
Now, RJ was kind of leaning. There was contact. Maybe the fact that he was off balance unintentionally accentuated it.
Barnes just heard that the foul was called on him. He didn't believe it. So RJ Barrett goes to the free throw line. Barrett with a team high 14 today for the Knicks. 3 of 5 from the line, and now 3 of 6 as he misses the first one. Having his issues at the stripe, RJ Barrett.
Well, he's certainly been aggressive this year. I mean, he's had a couple of cycles where injuries have closed him down, shut him down, but kid plays hard, man.
Hits the second one, 4 of 7 from the stripe. This from a guy that shoots about 76% on the season, so got to try and find his range at the stripe if he gets there again. Raptors leading by 9, 40 seconds to go. Van Vliet around a Siakam screen, drives on the far side, goes right at Grimes, bumped by Grimes, and a strong, aggressive drive from Van Vliet will see him go to the free throw line.
Well, Fred turned the corner, and again, the Knicks kind of playing that drop defense, turns the corner, and Grimes jumps out. I don't know what happened with the defense. That wasn't even Grimes' man. He just stepped up to stop a guy going to the basket with the ball. Just happened to be way too late, and Fred had a head of steam.
Fred knocks down the first free throw, having himself a fine afternoon thus far, or evening, I guess I should say. Van Vliet up to 17 points. Second free throw, good as well. 18 points now for Fred, and the lead sits at 11. 37.1 seconds to play. It's picked up by McBride, who hands off to Barrett. To a cutting Randall, down near the right block, stops on a dime, turns, fires, fades, blocked by Scotty Barnes. Randall gets it back on the perimeter. Now drives down Main Street and lays it up and in.
He was trying to pass that one. It got knocked away, went right back to him. And again, you got to remember he's left-handed.
Raptors up by 9. They can hold for the last shot now. Game clock is down to 12. Siakam out near center is milking the clock down. He brings it toward the far wing. Van Vliet comes up. Pascal puts it on the floor, trying to work on Sims. Down at that left block, spins to the baseline, turns, fires, bucket, no good. Randall has it, and that'll end it. As Randall heaved a shot after the shot clock had gone, though, after the game clock had gone. So we go into the half with the Raptors leading 62-53.
Good half for Toronto. They shoot the ball well, 51%. Do a nice job with 8 of 16 from distance. They need to keep that going, and they need to play better defense. The second halves have been just brutal with them from a defensive standpoint and getting consistent stops.
Folks, have you checked out Bet Rivers yet? Download the Bet Rivers online casino and sportsbook app today. Get into action this basketball season with thousands of betting options. Plus, don't forget about Bet Rivers Sportsbook's award-winning customer service. It's a whole new game with Bet Rivers online casino and sportsbook. Must be 18 plus. Available in Ontario only. Please play responsibly. And if you have questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. At the half, the Raptors leading the Knicks 62-53. When we come back, some halftime stats, then our halftime interview on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win, just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Oh, hi. I'd like to apply for a loan so I can consolidate some of my debts.
Sure. Do you own your home?
Yes, but Carl, our resident ghost, keeps saying it's his house and we should get out.
Okay, but you are the registered owner.
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Hey, hear that, Carl? Huh?
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616.
Now is the time to stream more Maple Leafs down the stretch drive.
Centers in front. Matthews scores.
Get thousands of out-of-market NHL games, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and more with a new Sportsnet Now Premium 6-month pass.
Here is Martin. This runner scores. It's a beauty.
And with Blue Jays baseball in sight, now is the time to score the best value deal available. Subscribe today at snnow.ca. Available for a limited time only.
Stick to your travel goals by repeating after me. I will use all my vacation time
By booking a sunny getaway at WestJet.com.
I will spend more time with family.
By booking a sunny getaway at WestJet.com.
I will relax more.
By booking a sunny getaway at WestJet.com.
I will book a sunny getaway at WestJet.com.
By booking a sunny... Oh.
Choose from 50 sun destinations at WestJet.com or call your travel agent.
Take it to the Who. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you at the half. The Raptors leading the Knicks 62-53 at the half. Toronto shooting 51% from the floor. 18 points for Fred VanVleet. He's the top scorer in the ballgame. 13 for Gary Trent. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for Pascal Siakam. On the other side for the Knicks, R.J. Barrett, the Canadian, with 15 points. Julius Randle has 14 off the bench. Obi Toppin with 4 triples has 12. The Knicks shooting 45%. Toronto led by as many as 17, and again, they are up 9 at the break. When we come back, we will hear from the general manager of the Canadian senior men's national team and, well, father of R.J. Barrett, Rowan Barrett, on tap next on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Please be advised, if you find winter driving distressing, the following is a real audio clip of a Subaru driving on an unplowed mountain pass in the Yukon in minus 23-degree conditions. Just listen to Subaru's standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive go to work on all that ice and snow. And that sound is our confident driver whistling Beethoven's Fifth, I believe. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon winter capability.
Is this the sound of you shoveling your driveway? Or are you on a beach in the Caribbean? Are you topping up your windshield washer fluid? Or is the bartender topping up your sangria? And is that the call of a bird of paradise in Mexico? Or is it one of your kids asking for help finding their mittens? You get to decide, because with Air Canada and Air Canada Vacations, you can seize the sun in over 50 sunny destinations. See the hottest flight and vacation package offers at aircanada.com/sun.
Hey, Canada. Thinking of starting a small business or side hustle? Right now, GoDaddy is selling .ca and .com domains for just 1 cent for the first year. There's no better time to bring your great idea to life. GoDaddy is the world's largest domain provider, and we've got you when it comes to getting online. So start bringing your ideas to life with GoDaddy. Visit godaddy.ca today. Conditions apply. See site for terms.
When an unexpected furnace breakdown happens, you can expect Reliance Home Comfort to fix it fast. We're available to take your call 24/7. And if you need a new one, get our featured furnace and make no monthly payments until 2024. You might also be eligible for up to $7,100 in government rebates on a heat pump system and energy audits. So when an unexpected furnace breakdown happens, call on Reliance. Financing OAC. Interest accrues 12 months after installation. Conditions apply. See website for details.
I'm here talking to shoppers about the points hack of the year. 1 week to earn tons of points at tons of locations, like this one.
Wait. PC Optimum Points Days is coming? It really is the best.
Did you know Canadians earned over 50 billion points from all points events last year?
That's the best.
Love meeting another points hacker. Let's bring this home. PC Optimum Points Days runs
this time every year?
Yep. January 26th to February 1st. Find the best points offers of the year at
over 4,500 locations and on the app.
Nice one.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you at the half. The Raptors leading the Knicks 62-53 on one of the latest editions of Smith and Jones. Again, make sure you subscribe to Smith and Jones wherever you get your podcast. Download, subscribe, rate, and review. Jonesy and I had a chance to chat with the general manager of the Canadian senior men's national team, Rowan Barrett. The fact that there are 20-plus guys, the talent is deeper than it's ever been before. So it's not about one guy, but Andrew Wiggins. Now, I read the statement, and to me it sounds worse or looks worse in black and white than I think the overall intention or the tone of which what he said was actually delivered. And I'm paraphrasing, but the basic gist is I'm at a different stage in my life in the sense that I got kids now. You know, I've got commitment to my family, not just to my NBA team. And Wiggins kind of said, and again, I'm paraphrasing the comment, I would love to play if they make the Olympics, but I'm not doing no 3-year commitment. So whether it's Andrew or whether it's anybody else, any other player, Rowan, how do you balance the talent that we would like to have overall versus somebody that's willing to play versus somebody that's not willing to do the full 3 years, not just because they're not committed to Canada, but because they do have other stuff going on. How did you balance that, or how did you come to a decision as a management team, as a coaching staff, that this was a prerequisite, and how do you handle that going forward in terms of, is there any wiggle room for a Wiggins or an anybody else if they haven't committed to the 3 years?
I first want to say Andrew's a great kid, right? And he's a grown man now with a family. But, I mean, I remember working with Andrew at 15 years old, right? And I remember asking Andrew questions that, to get his mind thinking, to try to expand his thinking, right, as he was going into the pros. And whatever little I could, obviously, he had a great father there supporting him and lots of support. And he was always a smart kid. And I got a chance to see and meet with Andrew also, a couple of weeks ago. And I met with him and we spoke, had a great conversation. And so, Andrew does love his country and under the right circumstances would like to play. But, for us as a program, what we had to do to answer your question is we had to, give our athletes coming right off the heels of the last quad. We said, look, we need to get a group of players committed, and they're going to sign to this commitment that they are going to come and they are going to play. And if they can't show up, if they're injured, because that's another issue, right? If they're injured or there's a contract situation, we still want you coming. We still want you in camp so that you're learning what's going on. That, we're coalescing together. Some guys might be working out by themselves, in the environment, doing that outside of our team practices. But just being in the environment and showing the other teammates, I want to be here. I am a part of this. We felt that was vital for us moving forward. So the majority of the players that you expect to see on that team this summer are on that list of 16 that we put out. So the answer to your question of who those players are has kind of already been answered there. The one caveat that's been there, though, is that, look, if there is an opportunity somehow, right, some way for, because of whatever challenges might, arise, and there's a tryout spot, available, our arms are still open for, athletes, an athlete that's been with us and that really wants to be, with us. There would be an opportunity to try out. But our focus right now is going to be on, obviously, our players that have committed, that have shown that they want to be here, that are here, and we're working feverishly, towards that as we go through these next months. Our first thing is here in Venezuela. We've got 2 more games to finish the qualification games, even though we've already qualified. We'll try to finish undefeated there, and then we'll get, deeply into our roster and doing all that. But we already know the players that we have committed to playing this summer, and we'll have to watch the season and see how it goes. We're hoping that no injuries happen. We're hoping there's no other challenges, and the picture will become a little clearer, exactly on how that looks moving forward. But we are light years ahead at this point of the process of where we've been, in the past several years.
That was the general manager of the Canadian senior men's national team, Rowan Barrett, from one of the latest editions of Smith and Jones. You can hear Smith and Jones on Thursdays on Sportsnet 590 The Fan with fresh content every Thursday on your favorite podcast platform as well. Download, subscribe, rate, and review. When we come back, Raptors and Knicks second half action with Toronto leading 62-53 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Crestwood Preparatory College inspires excellence in academics and sports.
It's a school where teachers make the difference.
A school that builds a student's confidence, develops effective study habits, and encourages creativity.
A school that enhances the traditional classroom setting with leading-edge technology, connecting students with the world around them, resulting in admission to the best universities.
When your child feels safe and respected, it gives them the confidence to take risks on and off the court. Book a private tour at crestwood.on.ca.
Is one of your resolutions this year to save more? Well, as a sell-off travel expert, I'm no accountant, but I do know that a great way to save money is to book your winter getaway during Sell-Off Vacation's super sell-off sale. You'll be laughing all the way from the bank to the swim-up bar. Catching! In store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call.
SellOffVacations.com. We are summer. Are you ready? Are you ready?
It's on now. The boating event of the year. Take Go Transit to the show. Save time and money with Go Transit and Boat Show combo tickets.
the Toronto International Boat Show, helping you get ready for boating season. January 20th to 29th at the Enercare Center.
We are summer. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
The Toronto Boat Show.
Visit TorontoBoatShow.com.
Introducing Subway's Refresh Crispy Chicken Recipe, made with delicious seasoned chicken breast, starting at just $3.99. It's so good, we made 4 delicious ways to enjoy it, like the Sidekick, served on a soft potato bun, or the crispy chicken bacon and peppercorn ranch, made with Maplewood smoked bacon, or in a rice wrap or a savory rice bowl. Which one will you try first? Subway. Eat fresh, refresh. Freshly prepared for your order. Delivery fees, extras, add-ons, small order and service fees additional, plus taxes. For a limited time at participating restaurants.
At Toyota, our vehicles have always had quality and dependability built right in.
Because after you take me to hockey, I've got drum lessons, then a birthday party, then karate, rock climbing.
Quality means everything to us because it means everything to you. Order a new 2023 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive starting from $35,872. Price includes additional fees, taxes extra. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today. It's time to Toyota.
Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to start the second half. The Raptors looking to get back on the winning track before hitting the road for a 7-game road trip. And Toronto currently leading 62-53. Jones, as we get set to start the second half. What did you like in the opening 24 minutes?
I like the fact that Toronto turned New York over 13 times and scored 19 points. I mean, their advantage in points off turnovers is plus 16. The lead's 11. That's a big thing.
Nice pass from Barnes to a cutting Trent, who bobbled it for a moment, got it back and found Siakam in the near corner. So Scotty's beautiful assist wiped out, but he'll take it for his team, getting a bucket, a 3-ball, putting the Raptors up by 12.
Would love to see the rebounding pick up, Eric.
Brunson drives into lane, tried to go right to left, up and under the 10, missed the layup. Great job by the Raptors to contest and converge defensively. Far corner, wide open. Gary Trent busted. Back-to-back 3-balls to start the second half for the Raptors, and the lead suddenly surges to 15.
Isn't that the way they started the game? Knocking down threes?
Yeah, and the lead was up to 17 in the first half. See if Toronto can get it back up and even higher. Barrett, though, drives to the 10, lays it in, kind of tucked under the shoulder of Achua and got the layup to go.
RJ Barrett gets buckets, man. Like, he has a nose for the hoop.
Well, let's hope he's doing it this summer, too, when he's wearing the red and white of Canada, that is.
Yeah,
not trying to get into tampering with the Raptors here.
No. Eric Smith will do a GoFundMe page for the tampering.
Yeah, I thought we'd need one after yesterday, too. Not for tampering, though. RJ Barrett drives to the 10 and lays it in again.
Unless somebody sends it to the league, we'll just kind of lay low.
I'll send back our response. 2 words. We are right. Trent goes at Brunson, then stops on a dime, elevates for a jumper straight away. Would have liked to have seen move that one a bit, Jonesy. 68-57 now, the Raptors. Giving up 2 straight buckets to the Knicks. See if they get a 3rd straight right here. Randall out on the perimeter. Van Vliet under his chin. Randall lost the handle, gets it back. Van Vliet pokes it away again. He's got it on the far sideline. Randall with that pesky Van Vliet under his chin now finds Barrett down Main Street. RJ blocked by Barnes, and the ball stays in bound, picked up by Scotty. As Scotty now across center, drops to Van Vliet, wing far side, no good, hit the side of the rim. Sims with the rebound ahead to Brunson, fires to Barrett, who never got back to center court. Triple for RJ Barrett in front of the Raptor bench.
Isn't that something, Eric? As you said, never really got back, and then all of a sudden ends up with a 3 to knock it down.
Van Vliet driving on the far side, fouled. And did they say on the floor or on the drive? I think it's going to be on the floor. Yep, sideline out of bounds. So the Raptors got the lead up to 15, and very quickly a 7-0 New York run has chopped the Raptor lead back down to 8. It was 9 at the half. We are 2 minutes, 15 seconds into the third quarter. Straightaway, triple, Van Vliet. It rattled 2 rims, popped out, tracked down by Siakam. Second chance time as Achua gets into lane. Scoop shot, no good. Too hard off glass, but he's fouled. And 2 free throws coming for Precious Achua.
I love the aggressiveness of Precious Achua. It'd be kind of hard to unseat him out of the starting lineup, Eric, once everybody gets healthy, I'm sure. I mean, if Gary comes off the bench, you sacrifice a little scoring, but man, you get the defense, you get the hustle, you get the rebounding. Nick Nurse is going to have a decision once OG's healthy, but it might be a while before he actually has to worry about that.
Achua, first free throw good, second one up and clean as well. The lead goes back into double figures. It's 10. Precious, 6.6 boards. Wing, far side. Brunson looked for a three ball, no good. High rebound to Scotty Barnes. Barnes getting on the glass today. He's got 4 to go along with 3 assists, 2 blocks, a steal, and 7 points. Kind of filling up the stat sheet everywhere. He's got it right now at the rim. Blocked from behind by Sims. Barrett did a good job kind of holding his ground in front of Barnes as well. Far sideline, Brunson 3-ball. That one goes. He skipped into it and got good elevation.
Well, got to get back in transition and deter guys from getting good looks like that. That's the way the league's gone now.
Trent over to Siakam. Pascal puts it on the floor, spins, finishes. He went left, came back right, and took Barrett on the spin cycle for the bucket. Raptors leading 72-63. Brunson to Randall, back to Brunson at the logo. Now on the near side, Brunson stops his dribble, goes into the near corner to Barrett along the baseline. Floater no good. Wow, I thought he was fouled. Take it and run if you're a Raptor fan. Toronto picks up the loose ball at Siakam out of the wing far side. Van Vliet, far corner. Trent, triple off the side of the rim, no good. Tracked down by Pascal. Siakam has Barnes wide open on the perimeter. He doesn't give it to him. Pascal, though, takes it in the paint, trying to shake free from Randall. Now finds Achua on the baseline. Precious turns into the lane, goes at Sims. Now they go back to Scotty. 3-ball up, no good for Barnes.
Pretty good inside out. I mean, yeah, maybe you kick it out earlier, but I like the persistence inside.
Brunson had the ball knocked away by Trent. Trent nearly tracked it down. Brunson seemed to push off with that off arm and knock Trent to the floor. 5-on-4 now for the Knicks as Trent was on the floor on the other side of half. And Trent now saying to the official, Mark Lindsay, come on, that was a foul. And he's right.
We've seen less called, right, in terms of loose ball fouls?
Raptor lead is now 72-65. 7:35 to go third quarter. Van Vliet around a Siakam screen, gets into the paint, back to a cutting Pascal, blows the layup. Man, oh man. He was wide open right at the rim.
Got to finish those.
Pascal's got 16 today, and a triple is good from Grimes on the far side. And just like that, Jonesy, instead of the Raptors being up 9, their lead is 4. Siakam was wide open at the rim and blew the layup. That would have pushed the lead from 7 to 9. Instead, off the miss, the Knicks come down the floor, get a triple, and the lead goes from 7 to 4.
The ins and outs, right? The little things that we always say that add up. And right now, Toronto got to muscle up and dig in defensively.
7:23 to go third quarter. Raptors still leading, but this is the closest the Knicks have been in a long time. 72-68. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Hey, Raptor fans. What's better than the team winning on the court? A win for the kids and a win for you. When you play the MLSE Foundation 50-50 jackpot, you help communities get kids and youth off the sidelines and onto the court. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. Will you be a winner this season? Only one way to know. Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
Please be advised, if you find winter driving distressing, the following is a real audio clip of a Subaru driving on an unplowed mountain pass in the Yukon in minus 23-degree conditions. Just listen to Subaru's standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive go to work on all that ice and snow. And that sound is our confident driver whistling Beethoven's Fifth, I believe. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon winter capability.
Well, I've made some resolutions.
Really?
I'm making it the year of more laughter, more family time, and more movie marathons.
I am impressed. But maybe start by not hogging the remote.
Right. Make it the year of more laughter with the ultimate content on Ignite TV. Get an Ignite TV and internet bundle starting from $99.99 a month on a 2-year term with 6 months of Disney Plus on us when you sign up. Visit Rogers.com for details. Disney Plus auto renews at $11.99 a month or then current price thereafter.
Now back to Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Raptors leading the Knicks 72-68, but New York moments ago staring down the barrel of being down 11. They answer back to chop the Raptor lead down to 5. Raptors build it back up to 9. And then it was sitting at 7. Had a chance to get it back to 9 again, but Siakam blows a layup. And the Knicks come down the floor, hit a triple, and the lead is down to 4.
Got to keep playing. Got to find a way to fight through and string some stuff together if you're Toronto.
Out of the timeout, let's see what the Raptors can get. Far side driving to the baseline. Fred VanVleet. Shot clock down to 8. VanVleet will stop and go on Sims. Goes into the near corner to Barnes. Barnes, 4 seconds. Barnes jabbing at Randall. Now trying to bring him on the baseline. Turns, and he's fouled.
Scotty was trying to say that I'm shooting on the gather, but
the way he reacted, I thought he was being called for an offensive foul.
Well, he's on Mark Lindsay now saying, I was gathering that ball and looking for a shooting opportunity.
Under 7 minutes to go, third quarter. Siakam hands off to Barnes into the paint. Scotty running floater goes, man. Looked like he kind of lost it as he went up, but he got the friendly roll on the hometown rims.
Soft touch by Scotty Barnes.
Brunson slowly brings it across center. 3 of 10 today for Brunson. Only 9 points in the ballgame, but he could explode at any point. Brunson gives it up to Randall. Randall straight away inside the arc. Gary Trent is right in front of him. Randall gets to the free throw line, elevates, knocks down the jumper, and they call Trent for sticking the hand in the cookie jar, and it's a 3-point opportunity coming for Randall.
Julius Randle, a guy that just continues to come at you. He's really kind of relentless in his attack on it all.
So Randall goes to the stripe. He's 2 of 4 in the afternoon or on the evening, 3 of 5 now. I can't get past this afternoon evening thing. I just got to look at the clock, I guess. 7:34. Yesterday's 5 o'clock game kind of screwed me up. I'm not used to those weird 5 o'clock start times. Tonight, the 6 o'clock evening start on a Sunday, and we appreciate you joining us. And hope you got 2 hands on the wheel if you're in the car right now. I know it's been kind of a sloppy day out there. Raptors in the lane. Floater no good for VanVleet, but Precious Achiuwa with the tip. It's good. Great job to get the hands in traffic. Raptors have the lead back at 5. Barrett into the lane, draws defenders, kicks back out on the perimeter to Randall. Randall gets into the paint, goes back on the sideline to Grimes, to Brunson. Brunson bumped as he put it on the floor. And man,
come on.
Well, but hold on. I will say, come on. But Jonesy, this is exactly what you said you'd be teaching your kids is you'd be throwing head and shoulders.
Okay,
Well,
and you're right. You're right. And give Brunson credit. But what I will say is, you can call that on every play.
Yeah,
so
you're
then
right.
call it on every play or let it go. Don't selectively enforce it.
Brunson, near side, weaving into the paint. Now turns, fires, flicks up the left hand, and he tried to scoop it up, missed it. Late whistle comes in, and they're calling a foul on a wild miss shot by Brunson, but a whistle's going to come in, and who are they getting on? Precious Achiuwa. It's going to be his third. Nick Nurse is looking up at the replay. He doesn't like the call. Precious coming over to try and get an explanation from Jenna Schroeder as well. As Brunson goes to the free throw line for his second and third attempts of the afternoon. First one up, and it goes out. Maybe a little poetic justice.
Maybe so, huh? Maybe so.
Second free throw coming in a moment. Raptors beat the Knicks by 2 last Monday, then lost at Milwaukee by 8 in a game that they could have won. Lost by 2 at Minnesota, lost by 2 last night to the Celtics.
Last 3 losses, total of 12 points.
Yep. Raptors currently leading by 4, 76-72. Again, they were up by 9 at the half. Siakam driving into the paint, goes at Sims, stops on a dime, right block, bumped, fouled to the line, goes Pascal. He got off the shot but couldn't get it to go, so he's going to have to earn 2 at the stripe. And Jonesy, these will be the first 2 free throw attempts for Pascal Siakam on the evening.
I don't get that.
17 field goal attempts.
I don't get that. And you call that little touch on Jalen Brunson, yet Pascal's got the ball with a high usage rate, and he's getting bumped. Like he tries to back in, and guys are dislodging him. Now, the defense will say, well, if he's backing in, well, am I supposed to get out of the way? No, but when you literally push him to the left or to the right and dislodge him and cause him to lose his balance, that's a whole new thing.
Pascal misses the first free throw. Second one up and clean. We told you we'd keep you updated on the out-of-town scoreboard. Cowboys lead the Niners 6-3 with 5:23 to go in the first half. Low-scoring affair. Brunson to Barrett, near corner, puts it on the floor, drives into the paint, goes cross-court over to Grimes. Grimes gets into the paint, hands it to Sims on the back door. Nice rifle pass there from Grimes, and the Knicks have cut the Raptor lead down to 3 again.
How sour is Eric Smith going to be if the Bills are out and the Cowboys are in the Super Bowl?
Very. Driving through the paint, scooping it up and in, and Fred VanVleet gets the bucket to go.
Back to basketball. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one.
Oh, boy. At least the Giants are out. So now I need the Cowboys out as well. And I don't even know who I'm cheering for now. Maybe the Eagles. Far wing. Triple no good for Randall.
I know who your son's cheering for.
Yeah, I converted him to the Bills side of things, but his 1B is the Eagles, so I guess I got to follow him now. They do have a Smith, Devontae Smith, so it's an easy one for me. Jalen Hurts is a fabulous player as well. Raptors leading the Knicks 79-74. We won't even talk about Jonesy's Cleveland Browns. They've been out a while.
Oh, yeah, wait.
In fact, a friend of mine at the Buffalo Bills today was asking, who's Jonesy's team? I said Browns, so don't even try and recruit him. Raptors leading by 5, and a couple of fresh subs are going to come in.
Chris Boucher sprinted there like somebody said it's free at the scorer's table. And what happened to you had to be in the box?
Yeah.
Right, you got to be
ready with your clothes
box off. Ready with your clothes off when the whistle goes.
I should say your warm-ups. We don't want all the clothes off.
No.
That'd be a different kind of league.
No.
Brunson splitting defenders, goes down Main Street, turns, fires back out on the perimeter to Grimes for 3. Too strong back rim, and jumping in for the rebound. VanVleet got in front of Brunson. Fires ahead to Siakam, who leaked behind the D. Pascal Bob with the ball, gets it back in the near corner. Randall's right on his hip. Siakam goes up top at the logo to VanVleet. Freddie around a screen set by Pascal, steps into a 3-ball and rips the cords from the north side. Timeout, Knicks.
Tom Thibodeau not happy. Fred came off the screen. There was no resistance on the other side. He gets a wide open look, and that drives a guy like Thibodeau absolutely crazy.
4:10 to go here in the third quarter. Raptors leading 82-74 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Hi, I'm Hugh Herron, chairman of Heathwood Homes. Tradition means a lot to us. Our reputation for quality, service, and customer care are all part of Heathwood's tradition, and that has made us the most successful new home builder. Thousands of people are now proud to be living in a Heathwood home in one of our many outstanding communities, and you can too. Visit heathwood.com to learn all about our fabulous communities. With Heathwood, you'll be home at last.
Will you marry me? I'm sorry. I love you. Happy birthday, babe.
Whoever you're trying to get, make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. From earrings, necklaces, to engagement rings. If they're good enough for the champions, they're good enough for your special someone. Look up Kalani Jewelry. K-I-L-A-N-I.
Go get him.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's something you hear a lot this time of year. Making space in your life is what a new year is for. Get a fresh start in your home and your life with Access Storage. With a safe place to store the stuff you love but don't have space for. Access Storage can be your resolution solution with flexible and affordable storage options in more than 100 convenient locations in Ontario. Get on with your new year. Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit accessstorage.ca.
Now back to more Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Paul Jones, Eric Smith, thanks for tuning in on a Sunday evening right here on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Raptors Radio Network. Toronto saw their lead cut down to 3 on a couple of occasions here in this third quarter, but as we sit with 4:10 to play in the frame, the Raptors trying to push the lead back up again. It sits at 8, 82-74. Toronto looking again to get on the winning track before hitting the road for a 7-game road trip. Yes, folks, 7 games all out west, as the Raptors will begin that trip on Wednesday evening in Sacramento. And you can hear that game right here on Sportsnet 590 The Fan as well. Toronto will then go to Golden State, San Francisco, then Portland, Phoenix, Utah, Houston, and Memphis before coming back home for their next home game, not until February 8th.
Wow.
Far sideline. Randall up top. Brunson fake the pass, dips in, passes back into the far corner to Grimes, who had to save it, keeping the dribble alive. Lost the handle, then goes up and under on an athletic jackknife layup, but he missed it. And the Raptors pick up the rebound. Van Vliet, weaving through traffic, stepping past Brunson, missed the layup, cleaned up though by Siakam. Out to Trent. Gary, far sideline, 3-ball. Off glass, off rim, wouldn't go. Cleaned up by Boucher, fouled. And to the stripe goes Chris Boucher.
Great perseverance by Boucher, staying with it on the glass, and even Siakam to keep that alive. His second chance opportunity, tipping it up. You know you can jump 2-3 times quicker, or 2-3 times off the floor, not a multiplication of how quick you can jump, but you get up and down on the floor 2 or 3 different instances. You can tip the ball to yourself, tip it off the glass, and then when you can secure it, and this is what the benefits of it are for Toronto.
Boucher at the stripe. Hit the first one, missed the second. Chris off the bench today, 6 points and 3 rebounds. The Raptor lead is 9 at 83-74. Brunson at the logo at center goes over far sideline. Randall steps into a 3, missed it. Hartenstein was there battling with Young, and he tipped it into the hands of Fournier, who lays it in. So the Knicks on the offensive glass get another bucket. They've been good on that today. 12 offensive rebounds, leading to 14 points. But that said, Toronto has done a better job, Jonesy, in the second half. They've actually outscored the Knicks on the offensive glass. Van Vliet driving on the baseline, far side, missed it, took an awkward angle off glass and missed the shot. Back the other way comes Grimes. He missed the layup, and it's tipped up underneath by New York, and it's good to go for Randall.
Did Randall get it?
I was going to say it might have been Toronto.
It might have been Boucher tipping it in his own basket, just not being able to handle it, but nonetheless, New York gets the 2.
Well, I guess Randall being the closest man to the play, they credit him with the bucket either way, right?
Yeah.
Baseline jumper near side, missing on an air ball. Wow, Gary Trent, he's been dialed in today, but missed badly on that one. Fournier to Hartenstein at the far elbow. The big man holding the ball, now handing back off on the far side to Randall, driving down toward the block. Cut off by Young, kicks it back out. Fournier, good look at a 3, and he buries it. And here we go again. The Knicks punching back. It's down to 2.
Inside out. Randall getting it in there and kind of looking away and finding a player.
Van Vliet dribbling through traffic in the lane. High off glass with a left-hand scoop, no good. And the Knicks could tie or take the lead. Randall, far side, Grimes, Fournier, wing, 3-ball, no good. He tried to sneak in to grab the rebound, but it's controlled by Young. To Van Vliet behind the D. Siakam had it. Ball knocked away at the last second by Brunson, who scrambled back to get into the play. And now the Raptors will have to set up their offense off the baseline inbound.
Trent going to get a rest. The end of the third quarter. Juancho checking in.
Hernan Gomez inbounding to Van Vliet near sideline. Freddie, lots of time on the shot clock, still sitting at 16. He crosses over, gets toward the baseline, throws it up. He was hit. He wanted the call, and he just turns and barks at Lindsay. Mark Lindsay, the official, and Van Vliet teed up. Whatever Fred said, it was an immediate technical foul from Mark Lindsay.
Oh, and Fred knew he was getting it too. But therein lies the inconsistencies of the call, the whistle, which leads to player frustration.
Yep.
Right? You called a touch on Brunson, but yet if you're Toronto, Fred's being tagged on every dribble and there's no call.
And Randall misses the technical free throw. So moments ago, the Raptors had the lead back up at 9. After seeing it cut to 3, they built it to 9, and it's back down again to 2. Brunson milking the clock at center. Gives it up to Hartenstein. Handing it off now to Grimes, back to Brunson straight away. Brunson steps into a 3 over Boucher, knocks it down, and the New York Knicks lead 84-83, a 1-point lead for the Knicks with 1:23 to go in the third quarter. The Raptors have coughed up the lead.
Well, now Fred VanVleet going to have a little more of a, well, let's say orderly discussion with Mark Lindsay and Nick Nurse all over Jenna Schroeder the same way. It's, again, I go back to the lack of consistency with the whistle.
Jonesy, this script is playing out like so many games we have seen of late for the Raptors. Now we still have an entire quarter to go.
Yeah, but we've seen this move, at least this part of the movie before, haven't we?
Yep. Is there going to be a different outcome? Is the script any different?
Let's hope.
Let's hope it was sent in for a rewrite. Raptors leading by as many as 17 points in the first half, leading by 9 at halftime, leading by 9 just a couple of minutes ago. Have seen the Knicks come back to take a 1-point lead. New York on an 8-0 run.
Yeah. Well, look, Toronto kind of the masters of their own demise in a sense that New York, since the first quarter, are well over 50%. They are 21. Just doing the math here. Go ahead, E.
VanVleet has it on the wing near side. Lobs the pass over on the near side to Thad Young, who tried to go cross court, and an easy pickoff for the Knicks. That was a very lazy pass from Thad Young.
They are 23 for 41.
Wow. Randall in the lane, lost the handle, gets it back, bumped by Siakam as he elevated. VanVleet thought he had a clean strip, but not before the foul came in on Siakam. So now Randall's going to go to the free throw line with 59.8 seconds to play. 59.8 seconds to play, and the Knicks, Jonesy, with 2 free throws here, if they hit both, would take their largest lead of the game.
Yeah.
Their largest lead was early first quarter when they were up 2. Randall makes the first one. 20 points, 15 rebounds for Julius Randle. The Knicks have out-rebounded the Raptors 39-29. And Jones, you were telling me about the Knicks shooting since the end of the first. What about the Raptors shooting in this third quarter?
It's been putrid. It has been.
In this third quarter, Toronto shooting 7 of 22. That's under 33%. How about that, Matt?
7 for 21. Very good.
Come on, Jonesy.
Rather
Come
not
on.
31 and change, but
That's
good
what
for
I'm
you.
talking about.
Yep. Way to know your fractions, E. Smith.
Siakam, far elbow, passes out, far corner. Juancho, back to Siakam on the wing far side. Pascal rips the cords on a west side 3 to tie the game at 86. Knicks bring it across center. Will they go 2 for 1? Brunson driving, stops on a dime, near the right block, now into the near corner to Fournier. Fournier trying to get himself free from Juancho, into the paint, finds Hartenstein just below the free throw line. A little floater, no good. And the Raptors will hold for the last shot.
Well, Siakam will get a touch here. VanVleet bringing it up the side. Said to Pascal, let's get in the middle here. Let's see what we can do.
VanVleet milking the clock all the way down. The shot clock is off. The game clock is the only thing on right now. 6 seconds to go. Siakam has it. Van Vliet is locked and ready straight away. Siakam draws a double team, spins, fires, and he just missed from 21 feet in the near corner inside the arc. And we go to the fourth quarter tied at 86. So the Raptors had a 9-point halftime lead. They had a 9-point lead fairly late in the third quarter. It was wiped out, and, well, we got ourselves a ball game heading to the final frame.
Yeah, we do. And we will continue to keep an eye on and monitor close game numbers. Both Toronto and New York have had their issues in fourth quarters this year. Let's see who avoids that demon in the last 12 minutes.
Fourth quarter action next, tied at 86 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
A big win and a bigger impact. When you play the MLSE Foundation 50-50 jackpot, you support the kids and the future Raptors of tomorrow. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. Will this season include you? The only way to find out is if you play. Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Welcome to Toronto.
Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
One thing we know about the Toronto Maple Leafs is they can score, whether it's
Hey,
Matthews, whether
it's Elliot. You're in my head. You're listening to the podcast, but I'm not. Jeff's ideas are crazy. Who could listen to this?
Can they keep the puck out of their net with 2 brand new netminders in the organization?
32 Thoughts, the podcast, is brought to you by the new Sierra AT4X. With a factory-installed 2-inch lift, off-road suspension, and massaging front seats, you can explore the backcountry in luxury. Visit gmccanada.ca to see the Sierra AT4X today.
Finding a job in today's market can be a challenge. Whether you're looking for work or wanting to change your career direction, JVS Toronto will help you get the right job. Together with JVS Toronto employment experts, you'll explore new job options, create a strong resume, build an appealing online profile, prepare for job interviews, and connect with employers, all for free. Your job is waiting for you. JVS Toronto will help you find it. Get started today. For more information, visit jvstoronto.org.
Let's get back to the action. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Fourth quarter begins with the Knicks inbounding the ball, and we are tied at 86. New York has a chance to strike first as McBride brings it across center. Raptors playing in a zone right now. Trent and Hernan Gomez up front with Achua, Barnes, and Boucher on the back line. And the Raptors get a stop to start the frame. Raptors first time on offense now in this final frame. We are 30 seconds into the fourth. Achua in the paint, stops on a dime, kicks back out on the perimeter to Barnes. Barnes gets into the paint. Oh, we had Achua, missed him, throws up a shot, looked like he was fouled. It was tipped by Achua and then put back in on a soft jam by Boucher.
Scotty got bumped, definitely got bumped in the lane, but Raptors play through the contact. Achua keeps it alive and Boucher finishes. It's a big start to the quarter here with bench players on the floor.
Barrett to Toppin. Far corner, McBride. McBride now getting just below the far elbow, too strong in the jumper in traffic. Hartenstein jumped too early and the Raptors grabbed the rebound. So a chance to tack on a couple more right here, a 2 or a 3. Barnes, cross court, left to right over to Achua.
They're really featuring Gary, trying to get him the ball.
Gary's got it right now. Floater no good, and he tried to follow his shot, couldn't do so. And down the floor comes Toppin behind the D, and he throws down a nasty one-hand dunk to tie the game.
Now, slam dunk champion, right? So when he gets out in front of the pack, it's tough to catch him and run him down.
10:15 to go in the ball game. Raptors and Knicks locked at 88 apiece. Raptors, after shooting well above 50% for a good chunk of the game, have plummeted to under 44 after that rough third quarter. Can they bounce back here in the fourth? Down on the right block, driving, throwing it off glass, and then missing was Achua, but he's fouled, so it came this close to going down and being an and one. Instead, he's going to have to earn 2 at the stripe.
Good decision by Precious, but it sure looked like on the first couple of possessions, Scotty and then Precious, everybody trying to get the ball to Gary on a pin down. Sure looks like he's the featured guy in this second offense.
Got a official's whistle for infection control rule right now. Looks like there might be a bit of a cut or something on the right hand of Isaiah Hartenstein. Hartenstein kind of leaned over into the huddle right now as Tom Thibodeau's taking this opportunity to chat with his players. The Raptors didn't go over to their bench. They're just standing awaiting the free throws for Achua. Nick Nurse sitting on the bench. So the Raptors not really talking or drawing anything up right now, but the Knicks taking advantage, trying to say something.
Well, we know Toronto thrives off turnovers. In that third quarter, New York, no turnovers. Not one turnover leading to any Raptor points. You want to know how the lead dissipated? They shoot the ball well, and they don't turn it over.
Achua at the line. First free throw up and in. The Raptors 15 of 19 from the strike tonight. Knicks 13 of 20.
What happened yesterday? 7 free throws. 7. They had 5 until the last, minute and a half? In what universe?
I'm biting my tongue, Jonesy. I think we spoke about the officials enough yesterday. I'm biting my tongue. Knicks turn it over. RJ Barrett had it taken away. Raptors down the floor. Boucher, he runs into McBride, who was backpedaling. So they're going to call the block on McBride. Great job by the Raptors to stay aggressive in that transition game in the fast break. And Boucher's going to get rewarded with 2 free throws. He's played well tonight.
He has. He didn't get any minutes thanks to Wieskamp in Minnesota. Hasn't changed his attitude, though. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to run the floor, do the energy things, do what I need to do to help the team.
Both free throws good for Boucher. The Raptors lead is 4. Fournier tried to go cross-court over the top and picked off by Boucher on cue down the floor. Wow, he was going for a poster, and to his credit, Hartenstein got up big and blocked that attempt, but not cleanly, as it was a foul on New York.
Oh, Chris was sizing him up.
Man, oh
he
man,
really
that
was.
would have been nasty. So back to the strike for Boucher where he was just seconds ago.
Did a good job in the passing lane, and when a guy like Chris, who is okay shooting the ball, gets a break like that, man, bar the door.
Jonesy, just before halftime in the Cowboys and Niners game, it's 24 seconds to go in the first half. 6-6.
Does Dallas have the same field goal kicker?
Dallas does, and from what I understand, they have a touchdown. Dak Prescott, I believe it was a passing touchdown. Yeah, it's a Dalton Schultz, but the extra point was blocked.
So that wasn't his fault, maybe.
Maybe.
Unless he kicked it low. But yeah.
Floater in the lane, no good for the Knicks as Barrett came up empty from about 10, 12 feet. Raptors get the rebound back down the floor. Scotty Barnes down on the left block, missed, but gets his own miss back, puts it in the tin, plus the foul, and a 3-point opportunity coming right here for Scotty Barnes.
Well, since this thing was tied at 88, Raptors have gone on an 8-0 run, hopefully making it 9. And I said it was a key time because no Van Vliet, no Siakam. You do have 3 starters on the floor in Achua, Barnes, and Trent, but 2 of your main guys are on the bench, and you're getting really good minutes from Boucher and Juancho. New York's gone back to Jalen Brunson.
Brunson has it out on the far side, now bringing it up straight away, cross court, left, right over to Barrett. Barrett with 22 in the ballgame, drives into the paint. Tried to pass off into the corner to top and deflected twice by the Raptors. Quickly ahead, Barnes to Trent. Touchdown Raptors. What a pass from Scotty Barnes. He was just to the left of his bench at the three-point arc, and he threw about a 30-yard bomb. I wish I could say that was Allen to Diggs, but I guess it was Burrow to Chase as the Raptors get the TD and Toronto takes an 11-point lead.
Scotty put the glasses on and made like a quarterback, and Gary Trent put his pinkies together as if, yeah, hauled that in. Great response by the Raptors. If I'm not mistaken, it's an 11-0 run. Now it's about holding on.
We'll take the break. 8:50 to go. Raptors on top. 99-88. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I need to realign my chakras, and I think consolidating my debts into one easy payment would really help. I'd like a loan.
Do you own your home?
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Namaste.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616. From the classroom to the boardroom, save over 45% on the Acer Aspire 3 notebook bundle. Today's showstopper at TSC. This everyday laptop with an Intel processor is perfect for all your apps. Shop the Acer Aspire 3 notebook bundle with a bonus sleeve. Regularly $1134.97. Today it's $599.99 with interest-free Easy Pay. Shop our best offer of the day now at tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Back to the action. Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 8:50 to go in the ballgame. Raptors leading 99-88, and Jonesy doing his best Rain Man in the timeout, crunching numbers.
Yeah, energy from the Raptors. I talked about no turnovers in the third quarter for New York. Already 2 turnovers, leading to 4 points for Toronto. Raptors out rebounding New York 7-1 and holding them to 1-5 from the floor while shooting 3 of 7 themselves. And all those numbers add up the right way for Toronto on an 11-0 run.
New York, can they answer back? Fournier straight away. 3 ball is good. Raptor lead is 8.
All right, you got a little cushion, though, if you're Toronto, right? You talk about playing with the lead. You got a little cushion here.
Scotty Barnes into the lane. Soft right-hand hook. I love it when Scotty gets down around the rim.
He's so good down low. I mean, you look at him, for his size, he has that all that ability. 6'9", but, man, plays like a 6'10" power forward.
Brunson steps into a 3 on the wing near side. Missed it high for the rebound. Juancho Hernan-Gomez. Hands off now to Barnes. Barnes running the near lane. Across center, hands to Trent. Gary Trent inside the arc now, hands off to Juancho. Juancho driving down Main Street, and they call Gary Trent on an offensive foul. After he passed to Juancho, he kept running, and they say that he ran into.
Jalen Brunson is he's suddenly going to be one of my.
Floppo?
Oh, yeah. He's getting right up there. He might be the best American flopper in the league.
Might have to get out that red cape. Little Olay. Brunson, Fournier, straight away up top. Now out on the far side, it's Fournier trying to work on Juancho. They pass to Randall just below the far elbow. Randall gives it up to Barrett, who buries a triple. Barnes right there.
The pass to Randall went right through the hands of Juancho. Like, high hands, almost had an interception.
101-94. Trent, triple, in, straight away. He's been dialed in today, folks. 10-point lead for the Raptors, 7 minutes to go. Brunson into the paint, tried to pass to Fournier, deflected and picked up by the Raptors. Great job, great hands.
Yeah, great hands by Achua. Active hands, keep them away from your body, but not extending.
Trent to Achua down Main Street. The layup no good, but he's fouled and he's going to the line.
Precious on a hard roll. Nice screen and roll action. Gary Trent commanding that attention. The defense moving ever so slightly toward him, and then a great pocket pass to Achua.
Still not even at the midway point of this fourth quarter. We've still got 6:47 to go in the ball game. Raptors leading 104-94, but a chance now to push the lead back up to 11 or 12 right here. Achua standing at the stripe. 1 rebound shy of the double-double today. Precious at the line, 6 of 8. He's got 10 points, 9 rebounds. First free throw is good. Give him 11.
Again, really good minutes. 29 minutes off the bench or as a starter today. 11-9. Great energy. And playing within himself. We normally see him launch a 3 or 2. Has not taken a 3-point attempt today. Very disciplined, playing within himself.
Takes care of business at the line. 106-94, Raptors on top. Brunson dips behind Sims, passes over far side to Randall, into the paint to Brunson on the wing, back into the near corner. Barrett in front of the Raptor bench, misses, hit the side of the rim, rebound, tracked down by the Knicks. Fournier had it, but he fell to the floor, and it's taken away by Achua. Ahead to Barnes. Scotty didn't pass to Boucher, tried to take it aggressively, and he's fouled by Brunson, and Scotty's going to go to the line.
Problem was Boucher was running down the middle lane. Scotty was in the near side lane. The spacing wasn't great, but Scotty knew he had the size advantage. I thought Juancho did a nice job on the last play of cracking back to block out Randall.
First free throw in for Barnes. Scotty this evening, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. Misses the second free throw. Raptor lead is 13. Fournier, far corner, triple, no good. High for the rebound, Precious Achua.
Good look for him and just rattled out.
Barnes to Trent near side. Cross court back over to Scotty at the far elbow. Now in the far corner. Chris Boucher, wide open look. Couldn't knock it down, but Juancho, great job to tap it out to Trent for 3. Too strong back rim. High for the rebound, Randall. Randall down Main Street, lobs it up behind the D, and an easy alley-oop dunk for Sims.
Jericho Sims looked like he went off a trampoline. I mean, that kid is some kind of athletic.
Barnes has it, gives it up to Trent, back to Scotty. 5:32 to go in the ball game. Raptors leading 107-96. Barnes into the paint, far corner. Precious now along the baseline. Achua back up top to Juancho. Up fake, sidestep, set the feet, triple, front of the rim, no good. Juancho goes in there and takes the rebound away to get his own miss. Fires out to Trent for 3. Yes, sir! Near sideline, Gary Trent from the east side it goes.
And why? Because Juancho pursued the ball. He wasn't peeling back on D. He saw a chance for a loose ball.
110-96, Raptors up 14. Far wing, Randall, 3 ball, too strong. Rebound to Chris Boucher.
We're 7 minutes into the quarter right now, and Nick Nurse still has his bench guys out there.
Barnes, too strong as he drove to the 10, but it's cleaned up by Chris Boucher, and Toronto goes up 16, 1 off their game high. Toronto gave up the lead in the third, came to the final frame tied, and they are up 16 in just over 7 minutes.
So you're Nick Nurse, and everybody's saying, when are you putting your starters back in?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let it run. Let it run. If the guy's got it going and, he's a middle reliever and he's retired like 12 in a row and he's mowing them down, just keep going. When he gives up a couple hits, I'm taking him out. The Raptors have built the lead. The Knicks have 10 points in this quarter. So Toronto doing a terrific job.
Take the break. Raptors leading 112-96 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Hey, Raptor fans, what's better than the team winning on the court? A win for the kids and a win for you. When you play the MLSE Foundation 50-50 jackpot, you help communities get kids and youth off the sidelines and onto the court. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. Will you be a winner this season? Only one way to know. Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Lottery license number 1274001. 18 plus. Play responsibly.
Please be advised, if you find winter driving distressing, the following is a real audio clip of a Subaru driving on an unplowed mountain pass in the Yukon in minus 23-degree conditions. Just listen to Subaru's standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive go to work on all that ice and snow. And that sound is our confident driver whistling Beethoven's Fifth, I believe. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon winter capability.
When the game starts, the betting doesn't stop at BetRivers Online Sportsbook and Casino. You'll love BetRivers live and play betting options. Live betting is fast-paced and gives you a chance to pick up some value as the game unfolds. Live betting at BetRivers Online Sportsbook and Casino delivers an exciting sports betting experience. BetRivers.ca. It's a whole new game. Check BetRivers.ca for full details. 18 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge.
Back at it. Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Raptors leading 112-96 with 4:45 to play in the ball game. Knicks inbounding the ball on the baseline nearest to their bench out on the Bay Street end of Scotiabank Arena. Across center they come. Grimes over to Brunson on the wing near side. Brunson in the paint to Barrett. Barrett trying to go at Achua, gets down toward the left block, fouled by Achua, and RJ Barrett's going to go to the free throw line.
RJ getting inside and going strong, drawing the contact.
Precious picks up his 5th foul of the game. As RJ Barrett goes back to the stripe for his 8th and 9th free throw attempts. First free throw good for RJ. 5 of 8 from the stripe. He's got 26 points in the ball game. He is the top scorer overall, but his Knick team down 15 to the Raptors with 4:30 to go. Jonesy, as we noted going into the timeout, the hybrid unit has stayed on the floor. Barnes, Achua, Trent, with the 2 reserves of Boucher and Hernangomez. Siakam and Van Vliet still resting.
Right, you're up 14.
Yep.
And the Minutes police can put their ticket books away when it comes to Pascal and Fred tonight.
Barnes on the perimeter, out on the wing far side. Game clock down to 4:15 to play. Barnes gets to the free throw line, goes back out on the far sideline to Wancho, back to Scotty, who came back to get the ball above the arc. Scotty's going to take a long contested 2, and it goes right in the face of Sims. Scotty milked that clock down. He knew what was there. He stared at the clock, and he buried it. 16-point lead for Toronto. Brunson, free throw line just above it, goes back up top to Barrett, turns the corner into the paint. Barrett, fouled? I didn't see it.
On the pass off.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he was.
I was blocked out.
Little rub there, and RJ upset that he didn't throw it up to get some free throws.
Brunson around a Sims screen gets to the free throw line. Man, he had a wide open shot. Then he passed it up. Grimes back to Brunson. 3-ball straight away is good. So it ultimately turned in his favor as he got a good look at a triple, and the Knicks cut the Raptor lead to 13. 114-101 with 3:30 to go in the ball game. Barnes dribbling, now passing off to Achua. Everything on the perimeter right now as Barnes goes far corner to Wancho. Missed a good look at a triple. Wancho today 0 of 2. Does have 5 rebounds and a couple of assists. But now the Knicks can get this thing down into single digits. Actually, no, they can't. It'd have to be a 4-point play, but they just got back 3, so it sits at 10. And Nick Nurse saying, okay, hold on a second. Back-to-back 3 balls for the Knicks, cutting the Raptor lead from 16 to 10 with 3:07 to go.
What do you
Starter
think?
time.
Starter time?
Yep. At least one of them.
Yeah.
Give me Van Vliet or Siakam, if not both. I think I might be bringing Freddie back in.
He's got a back brace on, and he's limbering up. Gosh, he looks like an old man. It's like something I would do, trying to get loose.
That thing that you attach to the office chair, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that you put in your car, on your car seat.
Yes. You know what, man?
Hey, whatever it takes. And if you were paying me that much money, I'd wear it too.
Now, I'm also a much older man, but I just got the results of an MRI this week, bulging disc in my back, L5S1. So I know what that can feel like sometimes, Jonesy. And I'm just sitting in a chair for a living, not playing out on the court. So anybody that's got back issues, you know what it's all about.
Yeah, we sympathize with you.
Yep, and it's only going to pick up this week with all the snow that's expected, unless you're lucky enough to live in a condo or an apartment or have enough money to pay somebody to do the work for you.
Are we supposed to get snow?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
A lot. Starting Wednesday, like we're talking half a foot on Wednesday and then more to come Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've been dodging snow bullets all winter, so
it's the middle of January. Turn the fans on. Send it somewhere else. I don't care where, just not here.
The Raptors are leaving town at the right time. Unfortunately, we're not. Van Vliet gives it up to Barnes on the near side. Turns the corner on Randall, got to the 10, hands it off in the lane to Siakam, who lays it in. So both Freddie and Pascal check in, as we thought, and the Raptor offense gets a bucket. 116-104, 12-point lead for Toronto. Brunson driving into the paint, felt contact, didn't get a call. Raptors get the rebound, and they come away with it. Triple, far sideline, no good for Gary Trent. Randall with the rebound, pushes it ahead. Grimes, far sideline. Gives it back to Randall, into the paint, went right, spins back left, passes back out to Grimes. Grimes along the baseline, back to Randall. Randall thought about the three, now finds Barrett. Barrett had the ball knocked away by Trent, and the Knicks will have the ball with 9 on the shot clock.
Man, Gary's got a knack, doesn't he? I didn't know he was that good a defender when he came here in terms of his anticipation.
And better after a slow start to the season when he got called out by Nick Nurse.
He just active hands and cat-like quickness in the passing lanes.
116-104, Raptors by 12. Randall driving, hands off to Sims, dunks it down, and the Raptor lead is cut to 10 with 2:10 to go.
Man, Jericho Sims again. It's like he's playing on a trampoline.
116-106. Van Vliet back to Barnes, back to Van Vliet. Freddie holding the ball, gives it back to Barnes on the arc, near side, right in front of Tom Thibodeau. He's trying to work on Randall. Gets into the paint, whips the pass back out far wing to Siakam at the free throw line. Jumper, rattled 2 rims and then a third, and it popped out. A lot of contact there.
He drove and Sims put the forearm out. It was like an arm bar.
Grimes thought about the three, finds Brunson. Brunson into the paint, got by Barnes, into the lane, throws the shoulder into Barnes, gets the bucket. Knicks cut it to 8 with 90 seconds to play.
All right, just run your offense, get a good look.
Van Vliet across center. Freddie staring down Grimes. Now on a switch picked up by Sims. Goes over to Siakam on the wing far side. Pascal into the paint, back out to Fred. Wing near side, 3 ball up and in for Fred Van Vliet. Ice in the veins for Freddie, pushing the lead back into double figures.
There's a shovel of dirt on New York for sure.
Brunson drives down Main Street, throws it up, and they're going to call a foul on Trent. Send Brunson to the line with 1:04 to play, and that's going to be his 6th. Gary Trent will be done with 24 points. A fabulous evening for Trent, and he's going to have to watch the rest.
Not happy.
And he gets
with
a good
the call.
ovation from the hometown crowd.
Yeah, he does get a great standing ovation. 6 of 10 from 3 tonight. 24 points. And really did a nice job helping to spur the Raptor offense.
Brunson at the free throw line. And it pops out. Brunson, 2 of 4 in the afternoon. The Knicks have given up a lot of opportunities at the stripe, 15 of 23, shooting just 65%. Second free throw good.
And the Knicks, normally a 78% free throw shooting team.
Van Vliet calls out the play. 119-109. Raptors by 10. We are under a minute to play now. 54 seconds to be exact. Raptors milking the clock down to 9. The shot clock, that is. Barnes has it down Main Street, goes at the rim and lays it in. Man, a huge gap just opened up in the Knick defense, and Scotty's length and athleticism made him pay.
They expected him to pass it out and the Raptors to kill time, but you give him a layup, he's going to take it.
Well, Randall just took that layup, went right at the Raptor defense, but Toronto's still up 10 with 35 seconds to go. They pick up pressure in the backcourt. Van Vliet ahead to Siakam. Randall trying to knock the ball away, ends up fouling Siakam. And we're going to walk the length of the floor and send Pascal to the stripe as the Randall foul will be his 4th.
Interesting. Coaches always tell you, when you slap down at the ball, you're going to get a call. That time Randall came from underneath and hit it up in the air, and Thibodeau saying to the official, my guy came up with the ball. Toronto didn't have great spacing there in terms of beating the press, and there was no real cutting, but they're going to get free throws.
Siakam knocks down the first one. I don't remember if the Knicks, yeah, they did just moments ago. Brunson missed a free throw, right? So fans are getting Jonesy the double dip today. The pizza, right?
Yeah.
But you also 12 or more triples, you get free French fries at McDonald's the next day. I think you have to spend $1. So it's free, quote unquote, but you got to spend $1. So buy yourself a drink and get some free fries. Barrett, triple is good from the near side. Raptors leading 122-114. Lead down to 8, 20 seconds ago. Knicks pressing again. Raptors pass out of it, and this should do it. As Barnes has it, it's a 3-on-1. He goes at the rim, contested by Sims, missed it. Gets his own miss back. The shot clock is off, and the Raptors are going to win this ball game.
Well, Randall glides by Siakam, grabs him, no call, and he looks at the official, Aaron Smith. Yeah, Aaron Smith. And he says, I fouled him. And then Aaron Smith blew the whistle.
Siakam at the free throw line. Misses the first one. So I mentioned the Knick woes or issues. Raptors, they've been better overall. 25 of 31. That's still good for 78%. Check that 25 of 32, 78%. Pascal, though, only 2 of 5. And now 3 of 6 as that one goes. Still a solid afternoon for Siakam with 24 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. And as the Knicks advance across center, Scotty Barnes takes a foul. Why? Why did he do that, John?
I don't think he was doing it intentionally. He was trying to cut off Brunson, and Jalen Brunson adept at drawing contact, embellishing contact, and at times baiting the officials into calls.
Brunson with the first one. He's got 20 points now in the afternoon, but I'll tell you what, I think the Raptors played him very well today. He did get 4 triples, but just 6 of 15 overall from the floor, and they did a pretty good job, but still found a way to get his 20.
Well, 20 points on 15 shots is not great.
Agreed. Yep, agreed.
You make him work, make him a volume and a low percentage shooter, you've kind of done your job. You're not going to stop. Like, you're not holding Jalen Brunson scoreless. That's not happening.
Second free throw, good for Brunson. 123-116. The Raptor lead is 7. Van Vliet pressured in the backcourt, double teamed by Grimes and Randall, and they're going to get the foul on Grimes, so we'll walk the length of the floor, and this should finally do it. That Barnes foul kind of extended the game in a sense because the Knicks thought, all right, well, hey, stranger things have happened. They try and press, and maybe they get a steal, they get a 3, and suddenly they're down by only 4. The hope was still faintly alive, but this should ice the game right here. Gives the Raptors a chance to go up 8 or 9, and like I say, it should probably do it. Early third quarter, the 49ers leading the Cowboys 9-6. They actually got a late field goal, Jonesy, right before halftime, so 9-6 Niners leading. You'll be able to see the second half of the ballgame now. Van Vliet gets the free throws.
Might be able to.
125-116. Brunson across center, streaking down Main Street. Knicks work it over to Grimes, and he never gets off the shot, and that'll do it. So the Raptors, they've played well this last week, but Lady Luck hasn't been on their side today. She was, but it wasn't just luck. It was skill. It was effort. It was a strong showing from Toronto after going up by 17, after leading by 9 heading into the second half. They see the Knicks tie the game at 86 heading to the final frame. They push the lead all the way back up to 16 and eventually win by 9. Weird game with these swings, but a win is a win, and the Raptors hit the road now for 7 straight on a positive note.
Yeah, up and down, back and forth kind of game. And if you're Toronto, you take the win. You know, you stop the bleeding. The 3-game losing streak is done. And good for you, heading out on the road at least on a positive note.
Chris Boucher is going to get set to join us right now after this victory for the Raptors. Boucher solid tonight, 14 points, 7 rebounds in 23 minutes. And Chris, I was just saying, this one has to feel good on a couple of fronts. You guys have played very well this last week, but sort of snake bitten by fourth quarters and maybe just unable to close out games. You did so today, and now this also gives a little bit of momentum going into a very long road trip.
Yeah, man, it's been a tough ride. You know, we've time up, came back a couple times, never was able to finish the game. The bench trying to, you know, find the rhythm and all. So it just feels good to finally have a rhythm and be able to close out a game. And, you know, we don't need it because we're going on a road trip and we don't need all the help that we can get.
Chris, the attitude mentally from not just you, but the team in general. Pascal said, you know, we're chipping away. It feels like we're getting there. We just haven't had the results. How hard is it to stay that mentally strong, even though you feel you should be winning, you're doing everything right, and there's no wins?
It's a long season. We believe in ourselves. Obviously, we work hard, extremely hard. We got close to a lot of games, you know, losing by 2, losing by 4, having a lead every time. We just got to find a way to finish the game, and the only way we could do that is staying together and play tough. And today is one step stone for us, and we got to keep on going.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to ask you something we've asked a lot of coaches lately. Defense in today's NBA. Have teams been struggling because offenses are so good? Is it the rules, the way the game's being called? Why are we seeing numbers up so high?
Man, the league is getting so much good. The players are getting so much better in offense. It's becoming really hard to guard one person with one team, with one player. So it's got to be collectively, and we all got to, you know, chip in because you got guys that are great rebounders, guys that are great scorers, great passers, and it's hard to do it by yourself.
Hey, best of luck on the West Coast.
Good luck on the road trip, Chris.
Thank you.
There's Chris Boucher of the Raptors as Toronto gets the victory today over the New York Knicks. 125-116 the final as the Raptors, Jonesy, close out this mini 2-game homestand with the victory, as we are going to take a look here at the Diamond Player of the Game, brought to you by Kalani Jewelry. Lots of choices today from a Raptors perspective.
Yeah, lots of choices. I think the guy I would go with, I mean, Fred was terrific. Can't discount the play of Gary Trent Jr. I think my nod would go to one of those two guys.
I would agree with you. I think I would probably lean towards Trent, but, you know, I wouldn't fight you either way. Again, the Diamond Player of the Game presented by Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. We'll take the break, come back with the final stats, and get set to wrap it up from Scotiabank Arena on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Need a realtor? Many realtors make big promises only to disappoint. But trusted realtor Roger Townsend with the Elite Realty Group will actually guarantee to sell your home at your agreed-to price, or he will buy it. Amazing! The Elite Realty Group. Their name is their promise, backed up in writing. That's because Roger Townsend has over 17,000 buyers in his exclusive buyer and waiting database. Call 647-370-9500. 647-370-9500 and start packing.
Guys, there's something we need to talk about. And I'm not going to try and talk around it. I'm going to come right out and say it. Sexual health. Your sexual health is important. Things like erectile dysfunction do happen. In fact, more than half of guys have to deal with ED every day. And Dr. Judah at Precision Sexual Health Clinic for Men can help. Book your confidential initial visit at precisionclinictoronto.ca. That's precisionclinictoronto.ca.
Just wait. Sorry. 1 second. Okay, now I'm ready.
Real adventure doesn't wait. It happens with or without you. So you won't want to miss out on the January clear out of the 2022 Honda Pilot before it's gone for good. Because with standard features like all-wheel drive and fuel-efficient econ mode, adventure time is all the time. Lease any remaining 2022 Honda Pilot at 4.4% for up to 24 months. Conditions apply. Visit your local Ontario Honda dealer.
Introducing Subway's refreshed crispy chicken recipe, made with delicious seasoned chicken breast, starting at just $3.99. It's so good, we made 4 delicious ways to enjoy it, like the Sidekick served on a soft potato bun, or the crispy chicken bacon and peppercorn ranch made with Maplewood smoked bacon, or in a rice wrap or a savory rice bowl. Which one will you try first? Subway. Eat fresh, refresh. Freshly prepared for your order. Delivery fees, extras, add-ons, small order and service fees additional, plus taxes. For a limited time at participating restaurants.
Back at it. Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to wrap things up from the floor as Toronto beats the New York Knicks 125-116. The Raptors improved to 21-27. Toronto getting 28 points tonight from Fred VanVleet, 24 for Gary Trent, 24 for Pascal Siakam off the bench. Chris Boucher with 14.7 rebounds. You just heard from Boucher. Raptors shoot 46% from the floor. They outscore the Knicks 39-30 in the final frame, and again, they win 125-116. Make sure you stick around for Raptors Reaction, our post-game coverage coming up in mere moments. Toronto again winning 125-116. Thanks to everybody involved in the broadcast here at Scotiabank Arena and back at Raptors Central. And thanks to all of you for tuning in as well. For Paul Jones, I'm Eric Smith. It's been Toronto Raptors basketball brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Thanks big time.
Save big, just in time for the big game at Visions Electronics. Catch the savings with incredible markdowns throughout the store. Plus, take up to 48 months to pay interest-free. Visions tackles the competition with the lowest prices in Canada guaranteed. Plus, you save even more when you pick up in store. Big sound, big picture, big savings for the big game. Catch the savings today at Visions Electronics. See all the deals at visions.ca.
Finding a job in today's market can be a challenge. Whether you're looking for work or wanting to change your career direction, JVS Toronto will help you get the right job. Together with JVS Toronto employment experts, you'll explore new job options, create a strong resume, build an appealing online profile, prepare for job interviews, and connect with employers, all for free. Your job is waiting for you. JVS Toronto will help you find it. Get started today. For more information, visit jvstoronto.org.
When we look into your eyes, we want to give you the whole world. But that's not a viable business model. So instead, we're offering you complete glasses from only $69. At Specsavers, we believe quality eyewear and eye care should be affordable to all, which is a little thing we call Specsavers Love. Find out more at specsavers.ca. Conditions apply. Select pairs only.
We are summer. Are you ready? Are you ready?
It's on now. It's the boating event of the year. Shop for thousands of boats and accessories. Attend over 300 seminars. Head to the world's largest indoor lake for boaters. Life is so much better with a boat. The Toronto International Boat Show, January 20th to 29th at the Enercare Center.
We are summer. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
The Toronto Boat Show.
Visit TorontoBoatShow.com.
Whatever you're trying to get, whoever you're trying to get, make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. From custom pendants to diamond rings, our jewelry covers all occasions. We make them for champions all around the world. Let's make one for you.
Make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. Look up Kalani Jewelry, Kilani.
If you can dream it, we can make it.
Please be advised, if you find winter driving distressing, the following is a real audio clip of a Subaru driving on an unplowed mountain pass in the Yukon in minus 23-degree conditions. Just listen to Subaru's standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive go to work on all that ice and snow. And that sound is our confident driver whistling Beethoven's Fifth, I believe. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon winter capability.
Are you concerned about your home's water? Have confidence drinking purified water from Reliance Home Comfort. With over 80,000 five-star user reviews on Google nationally, trust us to purify your water. Our dedicated experts will assess your needs and recommend the best option for pure and better tasting water. And right now, for a limited time, you could save $200 off a water purification system. So if you're concerned with your home's water, call on Reliance. Conditions apply. Savings off regular price. See website for details.
Until February the 7th, live and listen to all the magic of an Air France rendezvous. Whoa. It's time to book your rendezvous with Nice, starting at $840, or Athens, starting at $855 return. From Toronto, tax included. Enjoy a glass of champagne however you fly. Economy included. Elegance is a journey. Air France. Travel until June the 18th or from September the 18th to December the 10th, 2023. See conditions at airfrance.ca.
Finding healthy food options at your typical grocery store is a challenge. At Healthy Planet, you'll find not one limited section, but an entire store filled with aisles of healthy choices. All original natural foods, including GMO and organic produce at select locations. Vegan food, healthy chips, snacks, cookies, and the largest selection of superfoods for immune health. Make the switch to healthier choices today. Healthy Planet. Shop in-store or online at healthyplanetcanada.com. Live life healthy.
When it's time to get to work, I mean really get to work, then it's time for Work and Wear. Since 1975, we've been offering the largest selection of safety clothing and footwear that you've ever seen. Our lineup is always stocked with brands like Carhartt, Tough Duck, Blocklauder, Terra, Timberland, and Bluntstone, just to name a few. Get it now at workandwear.ca or visit our stores in Markham, Scarborough, and in Whitby.
Breaking down the top stories in the NHL every day. The Jeff Maris Show. Subscribe and download the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
CJCL Toronto.
Hello and welcome to the Raptors Reaction Podcast on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Wim Lou, speaking to you after the Toronto Raptors take care of business. That's right. I know it's been a while since the Raptors have really done that. I know it's been a lot of disappointments, truly some downright embarrassing outcomes, especially seeing the Raptors blow double-digit leads. And you know, there was a real threat of that today here as well. The Raptors were up 17. They were looking good, but then a really bad third quarter really does them in. The Knicks take the lead. It was looking like, oh my God, the Raptors going to collapse once again. What's going to happen here? But no, the Raptors actually flipped the script. The Raptors played a really, really great fourth quarter. It was actually the bench which actually brought them back into the game, brought them back into the lead. And I thought it was a good job by Nick Nurse to ride with the bench, even though the Knicks had taken a timeout and the Raptors took a timeout here and there as well. Each time he kept going to the bench and he stuck with the bench group. And of course, it's not just the bench, right? Because the Raptors aren't deep enough to only roll with the bench. But, you know, Chris Boucher, Juancho Hernangomez in a zone, along with Scotty Barnes, Precious Achiuwa, and Gary Trent. That group really, really helped the Raptors reestablish the lead in the fourth quarter there. And, you know, the Raptors have played a lot of zone with the second unit. Tonight was kind of no different, but, you know, they're just overall defensive energy and intensity was just really high. I mean, sometimes it's not even necessarily about the schemes the Raptors run, right? I think that's where, you know, we make it sound so simple sometimes, right? Okay, yeah, if you just play the right way, you know, you put the right strategies out there, you're just going to go out and execute and there's going to be no problems. it's not really that easy. You know what I mean? Like I think for the most part, the big missing element and something that you can't really quantify is really just like you see how much energy and intensity that they're playing with. And I thought that bench group really came out and played with some poise. You know, I think a lot of times what we've seen this season where, you know, the reserve groups and things like that, they just don't necessarily hold the lead for the starters. And so, you know, there was a danger of that in this game, right? Like, for example, literally the last game the Raptors played last night against Boston, the Raptors were in a close game. They had a 4-point lead to end the third quarter. The bench comes out to start the fourth quarter, and they literally give up a 9-0 run over the span of like a minute and a half, and the Raptors lose the lead, and the Raptors lose momentum, and they got to bring their starters back in. That could have been what happened here tonight, but they didn't. And I think a couple of things really went into that. Number one, obviously, you're not playing Boston, which really helps. But seriously, I think the Raptors just showed a lot more defensive intensity, right? It was, again, the defensive alignment wasn't that different from how the Raptors have been using their bench of late. But it was really, really effective because they ran it with some like real purpose and real energy, and they protected the paint first and foremost. And they showed multiple bodies against Jalen Brunson, who would have to beat a guy on the perimeter, closing out on him, then another guy helping at the nail. And then also, of course, if he goes to the rim, there's probably two guys helping at the rim, and just stacking those extra bodies, cutting off New York's drives, forcing them to sort of turn away. Even when they touch the paint, they still got to drive out of the paint at that point because there's multiple bodies, and then forcing them to sort of pass out of those scenarios. The Raptors did a really great job of forcing the Knicks, you know, into sort of settling for corner threes, into taking shots that weren't taken by Randall, that weren't taken by Brunson. And I also think that, like, you know, the Knicks ball movement just wasn't that strong. Like, there were a lot of turnovers in this game. I know 16 is not that high of a number in terms of how many the Raptors forced, but there were so many of these live ball turnovers where it wasn't like, okay, they dribbled and they stepped out of bounds, whatever. That's, you know, that's good. Obviously, you definitely take that. It's a good stop. But the best turnovers are the ones where it's like, you know, RJ Barrett tries to attack a closeout, gets into the lane, gets in trouble because he can't finish over top of two guys in the lane, throws a cross-court pass that gets picked off by Scotty Barnes, and then Scotty Barnes throws a beautiful touchdown pass all the way to Gary Trent Jr., a one-handed fastball to break away as Gary Trent dunks, you know, and takes the lead by 11 and forces the Knicks into a timeout. Those are the kind of turnovers the Raptors were forcing in the fourth quarter, and I thought that group really played really well together. I think, you know, there was a lot of energy just in general from Boucher and Precious, who I thought, you know, they were excellent today in tandem. Obviously, that was the combination that worked so well last year. This year, for whatever reason, it just hasn't come off for the Raptors in the same way. Obviously, Precious was out. That really hurt things. But even with Precious coming back, you know, it wasn't necessarily Precious succeeding with Chris. It was sort of Precious sort of succeeding independently. And I thought today, those two did really, really well in tandem together. And I think that some of the real positive metrics you've seen from some of those guys, like Chris Boucher, for example, you know, the definition of a hustle player, goes really hard, attacks the paint, attacks the basket, you know, and of course, using his length to fly around defensively. What I like to see right now is the fact that he got 5 offensive rebounds and 3 steals in 23 minutes. It was a plus 14. Nick Nurse played him 23 minutes. You know, this is a player who Nick Nurse last night essentially benched him, right? Like, you know, he literally played he played like 10-day guys, you know, like Wieskamp, for example, in Minnesota. He played him over Chris Boucher. He played Wancho over Chris Boucher. Like, you know, Chris is a guy who can have a huge impact on the game, but his minutes have sort of really come up and down. And I think Nick is really trying to get him to play in the way that he wants him to. Today, I thought Chris really, really delivered on that front. Now, and of course, you know, it's really cool that you don't necessarily even have to run the best play sometimes if you're just playing hard. And when you're watching some of the plays back, it's a lot of like Chris Boucher works to get the offensive rebound and he tips it in, right? That's the first play of the fourth quarter. Kind of an innocuous play. Honestly, the Raptors didn't even run the first action that well, but they got into the paint, got a shot up at the rim, and then they let their, you know, tall athletes go to work. And obviously Chris is able to impact the game just with his energy. They're not running plays for him. Then you got Precious Achiuwa attacking, you know, a closeout, goes hard to the basket, and it's not even a great shot, but because he's going with such force, he's fouled at the basket and goes to the free throw line, knocks down both. You know, then you have, like, you know, Chris Boucher stealing the ball. Again, the Raptors playing that zone really confused the Knicks. They really kept driving. The Knicks are, like, first and foremost, they're a driving team, right? Like, Brunson's a driver, Randall is a driver. RJ Barrett's a driver. They go into the paint, but the Raptors did such a good job of showing multiple bodies and forcing the Knicks to sort of zigzag their drives. A lot of those passes were like bailout passes, and the Raptors were able to run off of those. Chris Boucher tips one of those. Then the Raptors run out. Chris Boucher gets the pass in transition, and he tries to go really hard, tries to dunk over Isaiah Hartenstein, a bigger player, and Hartenstein's forced to take the foul on Chris. Puts him on the ground, which is a hard foul, but it's just a really, really great physical play there, right? And then, of course, you also just need some general play creation out of that group, because you can't just necessarily only live on runouts and tip-ins, although, to be honest, that was sort of what got the run started. But, you do have some half-court initiation with that group. You had Gary Trent Jr. curling off of a pin down on the right side of the floor, and catching a pass either from the point, from Scottie, or maybe, even after they sort of reset, they give him the ball and just let him run it. But to be honest, like a curling Gary Trent Jr. is, a pretty decent option, especially if you're able to set up good physical screen. And obviously the physicality was quite strong with this group. You can create some separation, give Gary opportunity to catch a shoot for three, drive into the lane, maybe make the next pass, all that kind of stuff. There's an advantage generated there. And then otherwise, it's sort of like, okay, you have Scottie running the point. Can Scottie sort of take initiative and go to the paint? Now, we've seen Scottie knock down like a bailout jumper in the fourth quarter as well. That was great to see, but that was more of a broken possession. It didn't really go anywhere. He isos at the top, and he takes like a foot on the line, long two with the clock expiring. He made it, which is good. But overall, I think you want to see more possessions where he's in the paint, and he does that here today. Goes against RJ Barrett, post up. The Knicks don't really send help. They're missing their key shot blocker, Mitchell Robinson, as well. To be honest, Henry Sims or Isaiah Hartenstein, these guys just don't offer the same kind of like shot blocking that Mitchell Robinson would. And so Scottie's able to post RJ, knowing that if he's able to beat him on the first move, he can probably finish at the basket. And that's exactly what happens. He spins off of RJ's pressure. RJ's got to he's a smaller player, so he's got to put more physicality into it. Scottie uses that against him, spins, goes to the basket, misses a layup, but Scottie's able to tip it back in for a putback, and he gets an and one on that, which was really beautiful to see. And then he had another play where Scottie posts up against Sims, who's a center and quite built. But at the same time, I thought both Pascal and Scottie were able to go at him. Pascal was able to draw more fouls. In this case, Scottie's just so strong. He's able to get to his spot. And even though he's posting him a bigger player, Scottie's got such a strong base that when he spins and turns, he's got those wide shoulders. It's very hard to jump over and contest over him or sort of disrupt his shot. He's just that strong. And then Scottie's able to go in for a little post up. Then Gary Trent comes off the screen, knocks down a three. Next play down, Gary, same play, comes off the screen, doesn't take the three, drives downhill. Defenders go to him. He, throws the bounce pass to Precious on the roll for a foul. Like, just great stuff. Just great stuff, And, of course, while all this is happening, the Raptors were able to set their defense time and time again, and the Knicks just kept turning it over. Like, there's a play where Fournier, why is Fournier even playing? He's not very good. But Fournier catches the ball on the ground, and he has Knicks teammates right beside him. But instead of resetting to them, he just kind of throws the ball up for no reason. And again, he's lying on the ground. It literally goes right to Precious. Precious hits it to Scottie, who takes it end to end and gets fouled in transition. So a lot of really, really positive stuff from the bench. And again, the good thing here is, obviously it's easy to say for us watching at home, but I think for Nick, like, there's always that temptation to sort of bring in your starters and bring in your veteran guys and sort of let that, essentially cash out your chips, right? You're hot at the table. You won a couple of hands. Can you just cash out? Nick doesn't cash out. In this case, he kept rolling with this group that really brought him here. The Knicks called timeout. The Raptors called timeout. He stuck with it. And then, key pivotal moment, the Knicks hit back-to-back threes, right? And this is where finally the defense started to come undone here, right? You had a play where I think Grimes with an up fake, Scottie bit on the fake, left his feet, and then, of course, the Raptors had to scramble to rotate over to Grimes, who's a good shooter. Grimes swings it to the top to Brunson, knocks down a three. And then the next play down, Juancho misses a corner three. The Raptors are slow in transition. Randall drives the middle. Corner kick out to Grimes for three. Back-to-back threes for the Knicks. At the 3-minute mark, Nick Nurse calls the timeout, stops the run. And that's when you realize, okay, now I got to bring in my main players and play a little bit differently and just close this game out. And there was 3 minutes left there. The Raptors were up like 9 or 10. And of course, they're in a strong position, but we've seen the Raptors lose out in those positions, right? Literally, just look at the past week of results. However, the Raptors were able to come in and set up a couple of good plays. Even though they brought back Pascal and Fred, they still went to Scotty Barnes on the post up for those first two plays. The first play, Scotty's able to post up, draws the second defender. Pascal cuts. Scotty finds him with a shovel pass. Pascal is able to finish with the hook shot in close to the basket. Just great team basketball, very simple play. Next time down, Scotty posts up. He doesn't make the shot, and the Knicks come back and score. Now what the Raptors do, they go back to that Fred and Pascal pick and roll. Fred handling, Pascal screening. Both defenders go slightly to Fred because Fred, Fred has just torched the Knicks in 4 straight games here. But Fred gives the ball back to Pascal at the top of the floor. Pascal's able to attack a closeout, get to the middle of the floor, draw a second defender, kick out to Fred at the top of the floor, 30-footer, catch and shoot 3, knocks it down. It's game over at that point. Raptors are up 11 with 1 minute left. And again, just overall really good, game management. I think first off, you wanted to see something of a response from the Raptors. They've been losing in hilarious fashions. And of course, their defenses are really poor, but you do want to see a response. There are some positives if you choose to look at it that way. And of course, if you're the coaching staff, if you're Nick Nurse right now, you have to at least just try your very best to keep that mood upbeat in that room and look at some of the positives. The positives right now, the Raptors are performing way better on offense of late. And that's not necessarily a surprise because we finally got this clean stretch here where, you have your main players healthy. Obviously, OG wasn't able to play, but Fred's able to play these days. Pascal's able to play. Scotty's able to play. Precious and Gary are also back, and they're in a rhythm. Things are good for you, right? And so you're actually able to see some pretty consistent half-court offense, which has been nice to watch. I mean, the first off, the Raptors started the game really nicely today. Fred with a pull-up 3 against the drop coverage. The Knicks just continue to play drop coverage against Fred, which, listen, I'm not saying that, you have to sell out your whole defense to guard Fred. I don't think any defense in the league is doing that right now. But at the same time, Fred has dropped literally 3 games against the Knicks. He's scored 28, and then the 4th game against the Knicks, he scored 33. So you're talking about a guy who's averaging 30 points a game on you. You should probably step up to the level of the screen. So Fred's able to get hot from 3. But, I just thought the Raptors played well. Obviously, they started the game beautifully. They're up 37-22 after the first quarter. A lot of 2-man games with Pascal and Fred was working really well. That, should be the core of the Raptors offense. But to be honest, the Raptors get away from that quite a bit this season. There's a lot of mouths to feed, whatever. But today it seemed much more simple. Those guys were sort of running their 2-man actions. And they were getting extra passes out of it as well. Like, it wasn't just them monopolizing the ball, but at the same time, it just made a lot of sense, right? Like, there were a lot of gaps for those 2 guys to attack. But I also think that, the bench was able to come in and contribute as well. And they played in a different way. It was much more physical to the paint. Aside from an occasional Gary jumper, no one else is really in that much of a threat to shoot. But they have all those guys playing with tons of energy. Precious, for example, he started today, played a lot of minutes with the bench, had another great game, double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, had 2 steals. And listen, Precious only took 4 shots and made 2 of them, but he got to the free throw line 10 times, more than anyone else on the entire court. And it's not like Precious dominates the ball he does refuse to kind of give up the ball sometimes, especially in transition. But the point is, every single time Precious had a chance to attack, he did it. And he went hard at the basket, he took the punishment, and he gets to the free throw line. And you know what? That you just have to respect a guy like that. You rarely see a guy who doesn't touch the ball that much, but he's able to still get to the free throw line. It's a real indication of his mentality and also his just sheer physicality that Precious is able to play with. And you know what? Those 2 styles, they're able to marry it today. And of course, you got certain guys that can kind of, bridge the gap between the 2. I think Gary's a natural sort of player who not only can he play that physical, gritty style, especially obviously when you have all those defenders behind him, you can really sort of hide him a little bit, especially if you put him in the zone. You can really mitigate some of his defensive weaknesses. And meanwhile, you have the benefits of having one guy who you can run a set action for, right? Because if you think about that group again that took the lead in the 4th quarter, it was Juancho, Chris Boucher, Precious Achiuwa, Scotty Barnes. Scotty to a lesser degree, I think Scotty you can run consistent plays for. It's sort of just more of can you get him to consistently attack the basket? But at the same time, there's 3 guys in there with Precious, Chris, and Juancho that you can't run set actions for time and time again, especially not for the Knicks to actually respect them defensively. You need one guy out there who can actually move the needle, and that was Gary. And just because of that simple little curl action, they were able to get a 3. They're able to get Precious for 2 free throws on the roll. stuff like that, where you just have that little extra bit. And of course, Gary's also effective with the main group as well when it's sort of Pascal and Fred playing pick and roll, because of the fact that, when there's extra defenders that are sent Fred's way, when the extra defenders sent Pascal's way, they're able to kick out, and they want somebody like a Gary Trent Jr. who's able to, catch and shoot and knock it down. And of course, Gary tonight, unfortunately, he fouled out a couple, gambles, but then again, he had two steals and a block. That's okay. I would still say ultimately it was a bit of a weak defensive game, but ultimately he knocks down 6 threes for you and scores 24 points on 9 of 17 shooting during that time. He fits with both groups. And then, that you just had like a really nice flowing game. Of course, offensively, it died down in the third quarter. Actually, it died down in the second quarter as well, because, Nick Nurse decided to extend his rotation, and he put on a bench group that was nothing like the fourth quarter bench group. He put on Pascal with, I think, Precious, Chris, and then he played Joe Wieskamp and Jeff Dowtin. And listen, I'm really happy those guys got opportunities. They got chances to play. I think a lot of people have been really tired of sort of seeing what the Raptors have been doing. We've been watching the Raptors extend the minutes for their main guys and really, ride them and essentially really burn them out at times. You definitely do need to see the rotation extended. This is the 5th game this week for the Toronto Raptors. They haven't had an off day in nearly 2 weeks, maybe even more than 2 weeks, actually. They also had just played a game last night where a lot of their main guys played like 40-plus minutes again. So you definitely need to see like a purposeful approach from Nick to extend the rotation. That's exactly what he did here. Puts in Wieskamp and Dowtin just for the first 6 minutes of the second quarter, and he rode with the mistakes. And he rode with the ups and the downs. To be honest, not a lot of ups between the two of them, and I'm not really going to blame them. But at the same time, you look at the box score, they're both -7. Wieskamp's 0 for 1 without a rebound, without a steal, without a block. Jeff Dowtin is 0 for 2 without a rebound, without an assist, without a steal, without a block. Right? So they're literally empties across the board. And when you watch the execution of the plays, you kind of get it, right? First play, second quarter, you got Jeff Dowtin bringing the ball up as the point guard in this group. Save Pascal some energy, right? So give Jeff Dowtin the chance to bring the ball up. You have Miles McBride on the other side pressuring full court, and Jeff Dowtin barely gets over it before, the 8-second count. All right. And then, you're asking Jeff Dowtin to sort of create against the Knicks defense. And again, the Knicks were putting good ball pressure on against them, but he gets in the middle of the floor, finally gets maybe a look. And it's not the greatest look in terms of a mid-range pull-up, but okay, we do know that from his track record in the G League, he can knock that down, tries to go for that shot, and Hartenstein swipes it out of his hands. You know what I mean? And then they're like trying to run a play for Wieskamp, but they're sort of pinned down action. The screen is not set well for him to curl off. Obviously, without a screen, it's hard for Wieskamp to get a shot off. And so, they're not really even running plays effectively for him. They're kind of just wasting time sort of going through the motions on one end of the floor. And again, that goes back to the idea that it doesn't necessarily matter what you're running when you don't run it with any intensity. You can run any action you want. You can run any defense you want. If you don't play with energy and intensity and purpose, you're not going to win, and you're not going to get results. And it's going to look bad on everybody. You can blame the coach, you can blame the players, but ultimately there's blame to go on both sides, right? Now, you had that. And then when Wieskamp finally got a semi-open look in the corner for 3, he missed it. There was, pretty decent anticipation for it in the arena. I think people are already starting to clue in. They're like, oh, this guy's here. He's a knockdown shooter. But my point is, though, that bench group didn't really do well at all. In fact, it just kind of like, it was just basically Pascal ISOing in a lot of those possessions, not necessarily because Pascal needed to ISO, but because they just weren't able to run their sets. Maybe that's obviously the lack of familiarity. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Joe literally joined the team this month. Jeff Dowtin obviously has been up and down. But still, you got to do some, better results on that front. And that's where I'm happy that Nick completely swapped out that approach, right? In the second half, he goes to a different group altogether. It's Scotty and Gary with some of those energy guys instead, and actually produce a way better result. But still, I like the approach, though. I even though he didn't get anything out of these guys, I'm happy that Joe and Jeff got a chance to play in this game to at least get a turn, because ultimately, not only do you need to see what you have in some of these guys, but you also just need to buy some time for your main guys. And listen, your main guys are doing well. I think Fred feels very comfortable in this matchup. So, he was doing well, but then again, he also wasn't doing well, because at the end of the third quarter, even though Fred did knock down a 3 to sort of restore a bit of order after the Knicks, went up and stuff like that, Fred had 3 straight drives where he went hard to the basket. First one, I think he really should have gotten the foul call for, but the other 2 were kind of really like they're bang bang plays. You know what I mean? Like this game was called tight anyway. The Raptors got 35 free throws. The Knicks got 26. So you're talking about a game where you have 60 plus free throws, 61 free throws. So this game was called tight, but Fred wasn't getting a couple of those calls down there, and to the point where he missed 3 straight drives. I think 2 of them got ran back in transition for baskets for the Knicks. And then after the third one, Fred didn't even get back on the play, complained to the referee, and the referee gave him an extremely sassy technical foul. Like he really slowed that thing down and really, you know, made a mule out of tapping his, you know, index finger to his palm. But ultimately, like that's not a good play, right? Like you can't have your main guys lose composure for you like that, right? It really doesn't really. Not only are those bad shots and you're basically just living for the foul, but you're even after some of that, your frustration is there where you're not getting back in transition and you're complaining about the foul call and you get a technical foul. All this is pretty bad, especially while the Knicks are actually making a comeback in the third quarter. They move the ball a lot better in the third. They're able to get open threes. They're actually starting to knock down some threes as well. I thought the Knicks were really cold to start the game, and as the game went on, they started to catch more fire. But yeah, you know, that third quarter was real shaky, and it was really looking like the Raptors are going to blow it. Like, to be honest, you know, they didn't start the third quarter well. They didn't finish the third quarter well either. And, you know, it could have been pretty tough. But I think in the moments in between, the Raptors did play a lot of good basketball. Obviously, coming out to the hot start was great. And then finishing strong was great. Losing the middle parts, I think, it's regrettable. I think for the Raptors, they really, really need to sort of continue learning how to play with a full intensity for 4 quarters. But they're, you know, the Raptors are able to sort of find themselves tonight. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a relief, I gotta say, just because, look, whether you're in on the tank or not, I think at the same, you don't want to see the Raptors just like continuously embarrass themselves, right? I mean, like to be like when the Raptors lost the lead in the third quarter after leading by a lot for the entire first half, I'm sure a lot of people lost some faith in the group. And it's not just like, oh, you know, it's a fandom. Like, you obviously got to stay strong for the guys all the time. It's like, just based on recent history, like you just keep seeing these patterns play out. And I think once you really get it into, you know, your mind that, you know, this is a team to be pessimistic about. This is a team that folds easily. This is a team that, you know, isn't serious. This is a team that, you know, is going to turn on each other when you really like, you know, make a run here. You know, it starts to become your reality, right? But I think at the same time, that's one thing where the Raptors have done a really good job over the years, staying competitive, no matter who's out there. They always scrap, right? And I mean, even think back to not even just championship, but the years after that, how many games we celebrated because the Raptors are missing like 2-3 key rotation guys. They're going against a tough opponent. And, you know, despite all of that, they're able to beat the odds. They play super hard. They play together, and they're able to win the game. Right. And I think that was like a true culture that was really here in Toronto for a long time. Maybe you just call that just, you know, Kyle Lowry's influence, because obviously he was so competitive. And I don't even think that's gassing him up. I really do think that that's the influence he had in this situation. But like, you don't want to see that sort of never say die attitude lost with this group. And of course, we've seen that at times this season, right? When they made that comeback against the Bucks. On national TV and they forced overtime. Of course, there was definitely that attitude to come back. But at the same time, I think you can just show it within the games as well. And I think that the Raptors were able to take the punch here, but then counter punch and ultimately knock out the Knicks. So, you know, it's positive results across the team. I think, you know, in this matchup, Fred definitely feels comfortable. Again, he got out of